Hello there, everybody. How are you all doing today? It is us once again coming back to finish 2008.
Yay!
Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty nice. So we're going on to Sony, uploaded by True Gaming Vault. So thank you for that, True Gaming Vault. Really appreciate you. So yeah, 2008, honestly, Megan, so far been a little bit lackluster.
Yeah, it's really not been good, especially Nintendo.
Yeah, Nintendo's was oddly not as good. I don't know. It's really weird. So a bit lackluster. You know, Microsoft has done okay, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Even then I still didn't necessarily feel wowed. It was like, oh yeah, this is fine. Like this is a good enough conference. So I don't know. I'm curious to see if Sony can break the curse of being cringe every year so far. For the last couple of years at the very least.
Yeah.
Ironically, with the launch of the PS3 is when their stuff started getting cringe. So you know, we'll see if they can break that curse. I don't know, man. Or maybe they can be the best this year. Like we'll have to see. I don't know. I'm scared, Megan. I'm scared. Could E3 2008 be one of the first lackluster E3s? Because I think most E3s have been good so far. Like, I mean, you had the boring-ish kind of business ones earlier on, yeah, but, you know, I guess from, like, a more modern take on E3, like, this is probably one of the least exciting years so far.
Yeah, like, if this ends up being bad, I wouldn't be surprised if this is, like, quote-unquote, the first bad year of the modern era.
No, they're gonna have so many more.
Like, we'll see. I'll be honest, I don't really remember what came out in 2008 for Sony, so yeah, I'm kind of curious in general.
Yeah, I really don't remember this year. God of War 3, I think.
Oh, you're right. I think God of War 3 is in there.
God of War 3 is probably here because I think God of War 3 either came. Well, I think it either would have been later 2008 or like 2009. I want to say maybe 2009, so we might see God of War 3 here, which is fine because
play that.
You do need to actually play that. So maybe this will motivate you to play. Maybe you'll like, whoa, looks cool as hell, and then maybe you'll want to play it.
Well, yeah. To be fair, don't I need to play the PSP ones first?
I mean, yeah, but
technically.
I mean, technically, yeah.
Well, I guess I better get on that train sometime. Yeah, I'm ready.
Right. Yeah, no, it'll happen soon, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe God of War 3 stuff will motivate you to really like push through it. Not like you really need it. We've just been really busy with other games, and this, to be honest with you, believe it or not, like anybody watching, doing E3 every year since 1995, it takes a while to do, right? It takes quite a while to actually do.
Yeah.
It's fun. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm enjoying it. If I didn't enjoy it, and if Megan didn't enjoy it, hopefully she'd say not to do it, or she wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
Oh, you're getting some sheesh.
Oh, is this MGS4?
No.
Or is this Resistance 2, maybe?
Richard D. Riddick. So this is just like a compilation. Oh, that's MGS4. Not a hero. Man.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. Because, like, not even counting, like, the time that we take to pause and talk or rant about stuff during E3, like, the physical conferences themselves take up quite a bit of time. Like, I want to say on average it takes us, like, 5 to 6 hours of video to watch.
Yeah, it's pretty accurate. Maybe a smith. Yeah, maybe like 5 probably. Because like they're going for about like an hour and a half on average, except for Nintendo, which is usually like an hour. Not to mention like, you know, the show floors, which would definitely pick it up, right?
Yeah, the years with the show floor is you basically add on like another couple hours. And like I said, that's not including any pauses or anything that we do. So like, what we do a year, it's quite an endeavor. And it's been quite a few at this point.
Yeah, like I say, been very fun. But at the same time, just very time consuming.
It is fun, but yeah, just time consuming.
PlayStation Network. The most,
oh, no more home stuff. Or is that Naughty
online.
Bear?
I see Ratchet. Is it, I don't know this.
Yeah.
I don't know what this is.
That's something of the PSP. That's interesting.
This... I have no clue because it's a cow and it's going towards like a stuffed bear that explodes.
Yeah, I can't say I've seen that before.
Is it time for Google Images to see if it can solve it? I mean, they might even say it like during the conference, mind you, but...
I mean, they probably will. You probably don't need a Google image.
Oh, well, Megan, you can't... See, this is Megan going like, well, don't do that. It's going to take more time. But now I'm curious. Now I need to know. So if I search with camera here, let's see what it gives me. That's actually a pretty good shot, so...
I mean, it is a good shot. You'd probably get it directly from a trailer, so it should be easy to find. It's not blurry like some of the other ones.
So I'm not entirely sure. So I'm getting a lot of like cartoony stuff. I do see something from PlayStation All-Stars, which might be a stage that's based off this. It says Divine Reckoning. I do see a tornado. So, I mean, maybe that's like a cow thing. Or maybe that's just something someone does. I don't know. I have PlayStation All-Stars now, but I haven't played it yet. And then again, I only got it because you're like... Because we were talking about it, right? Oh, no, wait. No, Divine Reckoning is... well, no, this is definitely a stage, though.
I mean, they might make a reference to this in the game, but...
No, that's Parappa.
Oh.
I don't know what this is.
Yeah,
I'm just saying the stage is Parappa. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because we got it because we saw it at local game store for like $10, and I was bugging you, and you're like, okay, I guess we'll get it.
Well, because not too long ago, I spoke to you, and I was like, I never played PlayStation All-Stars, but I hear it's bad, but at the same time, like, it'd be fun to play the story, and because the characters, like, interact with each other in the story, right? Does each character have its own story? Like, I think that sounds
I don't
fun,
remember.
You know?
But yeah, like, there's some merit in it. It's just not a very good, like, multiplayer game, especially. The characters are not really that well balanced.
Yeah. So, and yeah, it was like $10, and you're like, well, Matt, you're just talking about this a couple days ago. And I was like, fine, I'll get it. It was one of those games where you kind of twisted my arm a bit, and I'm like, okay.
Oh, that was Quest for Booty.
Ah. I was going to ask you what Ratchet game that was.
Yeah, because they showed Tools of Destruction last year, I believe. But Quest for Booty was kind of like a small project they did in between that and Kraken Time.
Okay. God, Ratchet.
It's supposed to be like names. I guess it's supposed to be like a transition title. Like, I think it takes place after Tools of Destruction, but before Kraken Time.
Jack Trip.
Yeah, why can't the Ratchet series just be normal and go like, yo, it's Ratchet 1, 2, 3. If I didn't have you here, and if I didn't just go on Wikipedia to find out, I wouldn't know which games to do in which order. Apart from the first one.
How much fun we've had over the last
I mean, yeah, the games aren't good for that. They just like their innuendos, except for in the EU.
12-hour rehearsal yesterday where everything went perfectly smooth. I can't tell you that because the truth is, this is the most stressful event you could ever imagine.
Yeah, kind of.
It takes about 2 years off of my life, but I'm more than happy.
He's lost a lot of years off his life at this point.
If you leave here a little bit more entertained and informed, so. On behalf of everybody,
poor guy then. That means like maybe he's lost 4 years over like maybe even 8 after the last couple conferences.
For the past 80 years, this room has been host to some of the biggest events in the entertainment industry. On this very stage, Kiefer Sutherland won an award for playing Jack Bauer. And Tom Hanks won an award for playing Forrest Gump.
That's from 24 for anybody that doesn't know. That's a very old series now, but very popular at the time.
Crystal looked on in fear. And thanks to this job and my biannual workout regimen,
there you go. Now,
there's not much chance
you're
of seeing that happen today. But I believe Jack Palance is dead, and I'm still here. So,
ooh, dark humor from Sony. Wow. Kind of ballsy, actually.
Today will be enough to get your blood pumping.
I'd be surprised if they did that today.
That includes Robert De Niro, Julia Roberts, and Jack Nicholson. Today we add the names Solid Snake, Nathan Hale, Kratos, and Sackboy.
Yeah. One of them is very different.
Oh, and Sackboy, man.
You're going to hear about a PlayStation brand that's really hitting its stride. With 3 great platforms, a flood of new content, a ton of
maybe one day we'll get a new Little Big Planet game.
And a lineup that features the biggest exclusives in the industry.
Didn't I hear that they're working on a new IP or something? Working on a new game? I don't quite remember.
PS3.
From what I heard, they're working on a new IP, and it's not going to be like another game engine like they tried with Dreams.
The truth
so
is, we've just begun to scratch the
we'll
surface of what we intend to deliver for consumers in the months and years ahead. The seeds for the PlayStation brand were laid exactly 15 years ago this week. It was July 20th, 1993, that executives at Sony came together to make a final decision to give a red light or a green light about whether the company should create its own video game console. As the world's premier technology and entertainment company, we believed that we
You gonna mention that you also like talked with Nintendo, and then when they were like, "Nah, we're gonna stick to cartridges," that's when you guys were like, "Okay, well maybe we'll make our own console."
Intense, more vivid, and more
I know.
than
I like how they
anything
make it a big deal, but they don't even mention the fact
From
that
the
they
very
basically just screwed
beginning,
Nintendo.
our customers came to expect something different.
Well, see, I don't
from
think they
us,
screwed
because
Nintendo
we
is the
expected
thing.
something different
Didn't
from
Nintendo
ourselves.
just say no to discs?
PlayStation
That
ushered
they just
in
believed in
CD
cartridges more?
technology to millions of
I don't remember what the
Maybe,
story
or
goes.
maybe it was
Just as the
Philips that got
PS2
screwed. I don't
introduced
quite
DVD
remember exactly how it
technology
went.
to the mass market. Because what really made Sony Computer
I still,
Entertainment
you know, I
different
still
from the
wish
very
I could look
beginning
into the
is that we took a
reality where
longer look
Sony and
ahead.
Nintendo were
At a
together
time when most
on
of
a
the
game
product
console.
life
It'd be such a
cycle in the
powerhouse,
gaming
dude.
industry were 3 to 5 years. We committed ourselves to a 10-year vision, and then we executed against it.
So
The
now I'm
2
just
years into the
imagining some
original
like
PlayStation, at
Nintendo
about the same
family-friendly
point in
stuff
time
with
where we are
like
here today in the
Sony
PS3
IPs like
timeline,
Killzone and
Crash
God of War
Bandicoot
and
was
stuff.
here,
I mean,
and
see,
so
that's
was
what
Tekken.
what's crazy
Gran
about the
Turismo
idea,
was a
right?
year away. Final
Yeah.
Fantasy VII was a year away. Grand Theft Auto was 2 years away, and Tony Hawk was 3 years away.
I see. So this is them. Now, I admittedly, I didn't really hear much of what he said, right? But it almost sounds like they might be kind of justifying already maybe why the PS3 isn't doing super well quite yet.
Seems like it. They're trying to, yeah.
Because they're like, hey, you know, 2 years into the PS1, yeah, we had these games, but we didn't have a lot of the games that we're known for today. Right?
Yeah.
And they might do the same thing with the PS2. If they do the same thing with the PS2, then they're trying to go like, okay, we know the PS3 isn't doing so well, but just you wait. We're gonna be there soon,
Grand Theft Auto
right?
was 2 years
Which, from what
away,
you told
Yeah,
me, is
just-
kind of
Tony
true.
Hawk was 3 years
Just let us
away.
cook.
And through it all,
Yeah.
PlayStation went on to become the first video game console to move over 100 million units.
Yeah, because
And
I don't
again, on
remember exactly
PlayStation
when
2,
it started to switch
blockbusters
over,
like
but it
Final
did start to
Fantasy
switch over
X,
later in the gen.
Ico, and Grand Theft Auto 3 were in place in the first few years.
Yo, all three good games,
Well,
but I've
Grand
never
Theft
played
Auto
Ico
San Andreas
or
came
Eco.
along in year 4. And God of
I never
War,
really
Guitar
played
Hero,
Eco
and
either.
Shadows of the Colossus came out in
Or
year
Vice
5.
City, technically.
God of War
Soon.
was introduced in year
Maybe.
7.
Yeah.
And while blockbuster titles keep coming, it took some time for mass migration from PlayStation to PlayStation 2. Why do I mention all this? Well, 2 years ago,
It is pretty
we
interesting
put
that
together
they're
another 10-year
advertising a
vision
game like
when we
Eco
launched
over
the
something like Jack
PlayStation
and
3.
Daxter, though.
With PlayStation
True.
3, we created a high-definition experience
I wonder if it sold a lot of
for every
copies then.
gamer and entertainment enthusiast out there by making Blu-ray standard on every console we sell. PS3 drove the Blu-ray format to victory, and now the Blu-ray format is poised to return the favor.
I mean, true, you did do a good job on that,
Created the cell
Sony.
processor. So
Yeah.
powerful that not only does it drive the PS3, but IBM is actually using the cell processor to power its newest supercomputer. This comes on the heels of a PS3-fueled Guinness World Record set last fall by Stanford University's Folding at Home project, a distributed computing system that helps scientists study the effects of a process.
Oh,
So I did
yeah.
mention to you this before, but this
was-
is the program Folding at Home was the one that where you could use your PS3 to help like do research for medical stuff.
Mm-hmm. You did mention
And-
that.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was a Stanford University thing, but it was kind of cool because it was just like an app you could download onto the console, and then you could use the processing power of your console to essentially help their efforts.
See, I do find that really interesting. Like, it's cool. It makes a lot of sense. You know?
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised, like, they haven't tried doing something else like that. Because, like,
Yeah, I'm
I
kinda
don't know,
curious.
It's a cool idea. And with all the consoles out there now, you could probably, you could mine some good Bitcoin out of it, is all I'm saying, you know?
Get all the Bitcoin people together to do the crypto. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they just realized after they tried it here that it was just a lot of work to keep the infrastructure up to connect all the consoles together properly or something. I'm not too sure.
I mean, maybe. It could be possible. Because I don't know much about it, but it sounds really cool. from what you said, right? And it sounds like it was a success. If Sony is anything to go by what they're saying here, right?
Yeah, like I think it was noteworthy enough that it was available. I don't know like how much engagement it had long term, or if they decided it wasn't really worth the effort long term. I'll admit we only used it for maybe a couple years because, well, I didn't like the idea of our console just constantly running.
I mean, yeah, right. If it's a computer,
not good
that's
for
one
it.
thing. But I'm also someone that keeps my
yeah.
computer running. I am one of those people. Yeah.
I used to, but now that I sleep in the same room as my computer, I can't do it anymore. I got too many RGB lights.
1.7 million PS3 users worldwide who have signed up to be a part of the project.
But that's cool. I didn't realize they mentioned it at the conference.
That is pretty cool.
System. And at a time when gamers and consumers are leaving the PC behind and moving content into the living room,
I mean, no.
Yeah, try and sell that.
Yeah, like that's not happening. Like I don't know, maybe there was a period where some people are moving to consoles, but I don't remember any of that at all. PC's always been like what people always say is what you should use, right? Like if you had to pick something, pick PC.
Should begin with the first big business story of the year.
Yeah, I feel like it's more a situation where they're getting more casual gamers into gaming, so like gaming is growing rather than taking PC users away from PCs.
I mean, maybe like that could be what they're going for.
PS3 offers an experience
or because it's more affordable, people are getting PCs along with the gaming console. They have both.
Games like Metal Gear
Solid like I could see that.
Just exclusive to the PlayStation 3. They're only possible on the PlayStation 3, thanks in part to Blu-ray.
Yeah, because I love my consoles, don't get me wrong, but
retail, looking to move their content from the PC to the living room.
PC generally is the way to go for a lot of the more hardcore gamers that I know.
For a deep pool of functionality and capability.
Yeah, you just get a lot more freedom, especially when it comes to like graphical specs and like how the game runs. And I mean, I do like my consoles, but it is kind of nice to have a bit more control over that stuff, especially if you're into modding.
We're not here to talk about all-in-one functionality. We're here to talk about genre-defining kick-ass games.
Whoa, kick-ass games. That's what I want to hear about.
Hardware, PlayStation in 2008 was all about software. Since the last holiday season, we've seen some of the biggest titles on the PS3 platform. The waterfall of titles in 2008 first began when we caught a glimpse of the absolutely stunning HD images of realistic racing simulation in Polyphony Digital's Gran Turismo 5 Prologue. Then we lived the life of Nico Bellic in search of the American dream in Grand Theft Auto 4. And in one of the most eagerly anticipated new title launches in years, Metal Gear Solid 4, Guns of the Patriots, not only met expectations in every way, they exceeded them. And if there's any doubt, this is the reason why you buy a PlayStation 3. Games like Metal Gear Solid...
I mean, that is why I bought a PlayStation 3. That is true.
The meaning of exclusive content. And while exclusive downloadable content is nice, but exclusive games are what make up consumers' minds and drive the business. PS3 has more exclusive than any other platform with more than 75 titles. And that's just in North America alone. And the great content isn't just for PS3. On the PSP, we saw God of War, Final Fantasy Crisis Core, Echo Chrome, and Patapon. PS2 consumers enjoy big-name franchises like Rock Band, Buzz,
that was like the black and white puzzle game we saw for the PSP a couple years ago.
Yes, that's right.
We all saw SingStar make its mark on the PS2, and then through PS3, flood my SingStar with a lot of really, really bad singing. Today we have what no other company has. 3 successful platforms in the market at once. Now let's start off with our flagship product, the PlayStation 3.
Okay, that's a nice looking PS3. Oh.
I agree with what CNET and so many others have written in recent months.
I see. They didn't give him enough time to drink his water.
The year of the PlayStation 3.
How dare they?
But it'll also be remembered as the year when we set in motion things that will define the industry for the next decade and beyond. We have a lot of great things to show you here today, and to kick it off, here's a look at the third-generation title from Insomniac Games on PlayStation 3, Resistance 2.
There's resistance too. Okay, so you were right about that.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was just thinking about the time period. I'm like, okay, kind of makes sense. I heard Resistance 2 was really good, but I never personally played it. It is on the eventually list.
Yeah. Understandable.
Command, this is Keystone. We have visual on the hostile.
One day I'll just play the Resistance games in general. Probably should.
Negative, Keystone. Pull back. Do you
Yeah.
copy?
Oh, why would you fly that close to it?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, because from what I played, I do remember the first game being fun, but it also was like one of the first PS3 games we had.
Oh no, we're grabbed. Alright, very nice.
Oh, there's no ground, or is that just water?
I don't know. See, I was wondering that too.
I think it's supposed to be water, but it looks like the textures are like very low res if they are.
Yeah, like, see, I don't know, like I assume it's supposed to be water. I just don't know, like, what happens in Resistance. Maybe, like, aliens flood some cities? Like, I'm not really too sure.
I mean, maybe. Because, yeah, I don't know, I don't remember how the game goes. I'd never actually beat it. I think my brother did. But I wouldn't be surprised if, like, the alien invasion, like, causes some damage. Or maybe this is supposed to be, like, a game where, like, you see this at the beginning and maybe you get a flashback to see kind of how it happened.
I mean, maybe.
I'm not too sure. I do like how they're doing a very similar style to Gears of War, though, in terms of like how they're directing the trailer.
Yeah. I guess that was just kind of somewhat in at the time. Probably because of Gears of War, to be honest. Well, actually, when did Resistance come out? I feel like Gears is the more popular of the two.
Yeah, I think the first Resistance came out in 2006, because I don't remember if it was a launch title, but I think it was pretty early launch window title. Which is around the same time the first Gears came out, but this one definitely feels more cinematic than the first trailer we saw, if I remember correctly.
True, true. Like, I could see Gears influencing some stuff.
Yeah, I mean, this is when we start getting all the very gritty and brown, like, realistic first-person shooters in this gen.
Yeah, it's true. I feel like that's also partly Call of Duty Modern Warfare's fault, though, like, as well.
Yeah. Like, it's definitely a response to COD 4.
But yeah, all the shooters became really samey at around this point in time. Even some, like, any shooter, really, it was just like, yo, we're in a city and it's dark and brown and there's a dark filter on, you know?
Yeah.
Yo, shoot the barrels. Okay, never mind. I mean, I guess those are dudes. I guess you don't want to kill them, but still.
Yeah.
Oh, they're gonna demo it. Okay. They're just gonna like blow it up. I mean, is that really gonna kill it though? I see the idea. You lure it under the bridge and they explode it. I guess that would kill it.
I mean, probably. I won't be surprised if that goes terribly wrong in the game though.
It's 1953,
Maybe.
America. For the past 2 years, the Chimera have been testing our borders, attacking small towns on the fringes and converting their populations into something else, something alien. In 1951, we lost Chicago. Millions never made it out.
Man, that would suck ass, you know?
Chicago,
no, not Chicago. It's like you go through World War II and then aliens invade. Like, that just seems like the worst timeline, like, actually.
Roam its streets, mindless,
Yeah.
and no longer human. And ever since their mile-wide Chimeran battleships crossed our coastlines in November of '53, a similar tale has played out across the cities of our border states. This alien fleet now hovers above our land, raining down spires containing twisted creatures to spread their horrific virus. Resistance 2 is a story of a country under siege, a story that's been broken by a superior foe, a country whose fate rests in the hands of a lone army lieutenant who may have more in common
Oh boy.
with the enemy than those he's pledged to defend. But Resistance 2 is much more than a single-player campaign. Resistance 2 also breaks new ground with its 8-player online co-op, 60-player online competitive multiplayer modes, and forward-thinking community features. In fact, the word we most often use to describe Resistance at Insomniac is scale. And while many games talk about scale, Resistance 2 truly delivers. Scale describes the huge bosses you'll fight in both the single-player and the co-op campaign, like the guy we just saw. Scale describes the expansive environments you'll discover as players traverse the United States. Scale describes the giant Chimeran warships looming over the country, ships you'll actually get to board in the game.
Oh, nice. I wonder if that's true. I assume it has to be.
Experience in single-player,
I mean, probably.
co-op, and competitive modes. Guys, bottom line is that Resistance 2 offers more than any shooter in 2008. So to conclude, I'm going to show you the latest Resistance 2 trailer in which we reveal a new level.
Let me see, actually. What shooters came out in 2008?
Is all footage captured directly from the game. I'm Ted Price, President and CEO of Insomniac Games, and this is Resistance 2.
I like how he waits till the end of his speech to introduce himself.
Yeah, right.
Henry Stillman.
I mean, I don't know, man. World at War and Far Cry 2 came out.
Devastation.
Left 4 Dead also came out in 2008.
Brutal and terrifying enemies,
Apparently.
the likes of which we have never seen.
Seems like it was a good year for shooters.
Fallout 3, Crisis Warhead,
I awoke to the sound of
Stalker
thunder.
Yeah,
Gray
dude, that's a
Sky.
lot of good shooters.
But as I looked outside, I saw their battleships looming over the city. Each one wider than Forbes Field, and each leaving nothing but burning, disfigured wreckage in its wake. Former friends and neighbors now lie in storm drains, limbs twisted in ways I can't begin to describe. This struggle for the very survival of mankind, this struggle that has now reached
Oh, yeah, that's kinda cool, big ass mech.
homeland.
Yeah.
This struggle, ladies and gentlemen, may now be forever lost.
Oh, goodbye, San Francisco.
So long.
What was that? What popped up at the end? I thought it was like a little flash or something. Just Project Ram?
Abraham?
Oh, Project Abraham, yeah. That popped up like very quickly. It almost seemed like a subliminal kind of thing. Look at that.
Yeah, that's kind of surprising.
That's weird.
A little bit.
That game looks amazing, Ted, as always. Resistance 2 is an epic title that will blow you away and is set to redefine the online gaming experience. And speaking of redefining gaming experience, when historians look back on this time in history and the trends that are shaping the world of digital entertainment,
Yeah, it also says Mirror's Edge 2 is on this list. I don't know if you'd consider that a shooter. I'm not really too sure. But it is on this list.
Is what happens when user-generated content.
I mean, it has gunplay, but the game also heavily encourages you to not interact with guns. It's generally not a good thing. So, I don't know, it's more like a first-person parkour game?
Okay.
It's pretty funny, though.
That is pretty
I forgot
funny.
Mirror's Edge came out this year, too.
By the mad geniuses at
I wonder if Sony's going to show that off.
What better way to
Maybe.
engage in user-generated content?
Because it might be at the
than
EA
creating,
playing,
conference.
conference.
That's true. Some of these may have been shown off at, like, you know, some of the supplemental conferences, which Megan and I talked about. I don't think it's really worth doing. I think they'd be harder to find, to be honest. At least for all of them.
Yeah, they'd be harder to find, but I think when it comes to, like, I guess supplemental conferences, we might end up just doing very select ones. Like, I know there's a certain Bethesda one we will probably want to do later.
Potentially.
Or your hardcore gaming friends and have a smile on your face every moment.
But we'll probably talk about and see as we go along.
Is that it's uniquely PlayStation. Every year, the most trying part of this presentation is when I run through the business updates and industry overview. And I'm at that part right now.
And I feel
So
like
to give
the
a level of Little Big Planet,
to give like
just think
the real feel of E3, like if we're watching it at the time, let's be honest, not as many people watch the supplemental conferences.
Co-founder of Media Molecules stage. Alex and his team have helped me pull this together, and we'll use this level to run through a bit of the presentation.
Nice.
As you can see
Little Big
behind
Planet.
me, we're running a special level of Little Big Planet that was created by the team at Media Molecule to help us illustrate a few points. How's it going, Alex?
Good, thanks.
Yeah, I noticed this is something Sony really likes to do generally, is going into a game to show off something like that they kind of want to talk about.
Yeah, I think it's a good formula.
It is. Like, maybe they just have more games that kind of make that easier, like PlayStation Home, Little Big Planet, right? You can kind of show off a little, like, various things in those games.
Needs a breather at any point
whereas Microsoft and Nintendo don't really have that.
Growth in the industry, and he's got some pretty steep
mountains
to climb. So far, 2008 has been the kind of year that makes me proud to be in the game.
See, because this is kind of clever to do, honestly.
The combination of innovative hardware,
well, especially with a game like Little Big Planet,
hot
right?
commodity software, and a growing consumer interest in HD has helped our industry generate more than $6.6 billion of revenue in the first 5 months of this year alone. In fact, NPD has been estimating that the gaming industry revenue will soar as high as $23 billion.
Oh, wow.
I like how they put a fire on that one.
That is really good.
Is a key driver of this growth. With 3 powerful platforms,
and of course, it brings him right up to the respawn gate.
Just in case. I find it funny how, like, they do have the spikes there for some reason, just in case they choose to die. Yeah, like at the bottom there.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's partially for, like, testing purposes. Maybe they just, want to test the timing of the platforms and whatnot.
I mean, maybe. I just find it kind of funny how I'm pretty sure this isn't a level that was released to anybody. Maybe it was. But, like, I don't imagine it would be. And it's like, here are just some death spikes just because,
right? Is a key driver of this growth.
I mean, they could be just trying to show off the game creator. Like, they made this little beach and stuff, too, with the 3 different layers you can build and play into.
Once again, we're at the forefront of the expansion of our industry.
Oh, look, it's PlayStation Home inside Little Big Planet.
Oh, you're right.
We sold more than 1.8 million PS3s here in the United States. And more than 1.6
that's pretty
million
funny,
PSPs.
actually.
And something we've seen before on PlayStation platforms, and only on PlayStation platforms, more than 1.5 million.
How many times do you think they had to rehearse this?
For a product in its 9th year.
Well, I mean, they did say that the other day they were rehearsing for 12 hours. So,
oh, that's a long time.
I don't know how long they would have been rehearsing this for, specifically. I think they're just doing the conference as a whole.
That success has been spread out.
Yeah.
But I could see this taking up a chunk of time.
North America, but in Europe and
I mean,
Asia
probably.
as well. And again, with more than 100 million
because I assume the timing would have to be pretty nailed down.
Units sold worldwide.
I like the little trucks.
Yeah.
Working to expand our footprint. And today I'm pleased to announce that we're turning
okay, that's
our
fun.
south.
Why is there a carrot
Why
there?
the carrots?
Yeah, the carrots are a little bit random.
We're well
Are they
on our
planting
way to
stuff?
achieving our fiscal year goals outlined back in May of selling more than 9 million PS2s, 10 million PS3s, and 15 million PSPs.
The PS2 is still selling a lot.
Generation is up as well.
Yeah.
Since 1995, PlayStation has generated more than $50 billion at retail. To build on the momentum,
there you go. They struggled with that one a bit.
Lineup, I'm also pleased to announce to build on
maybe because like he jumped on it once, didn't do anything. He's like, wait a minute. Wait, there you go.
Our PlayStation 3 lineup, I'm also pleased to announce
that's weird.
that we're going to be making some new games available on the platform as part of our greatest hits program on PlayStation.
Oh, yeah. This is when they start the greatest hits, huh?
Apparently. This is weird. I feel like something else should be happening here.
I mean, there should be another sign probably for the 50 billion revenue or whatever he said.
Probably. So yeah, so somewhere they messed up a little bit. That's okay. It happens. It's E3. Yeah.
Like
I can't really tell from the angle, but it looks like the house where he hit the button. Maybe there was 2 buttons in 2 different rows, and maybe one of them wasn't working properly.
I mean, maybe. See, I don't know. It's weird.
It looks like he jumps in the back. right? And then he jumps forward.
To build on the momentum of our PlayStation 3
So
lineup,
one of the
I'm
buttons
also
wasn't working,
pleased to
or
announce
one of the signs
that we're
wasn't
gonna be
there. I don't
making
know.
some new games.
Yeah, because it's just like since 1995 has like something is definitely missing there.
Well, they tried.
And you can tell by like the way he moves as well. That's kind of what I find funny about this too. Is you can see the confusion, right? It's like, all right,
generated more than $50 billion.
Okay, wait a minute. Something isn't working right here. I tried again. Okay, okay, whatever. It's fine. Keep going.
We're going to be making
Stick to the script.
games available on the platform as part of our greatest hits program on PlayStation 3. So starting later this year, our best
$30
games will be available at $29.99 retail, including from our first-party studios. Resistance, Fall of Man.
Yeah, that's cool.
MotorStorm.
I was pointing at it too and smiling.
Really cool.
That's funny.
Activision.
Yeah. I believe it was different buttons on the D-pad would give Sackboy different emotions.
That's fun.
Need for Speed Carbon. From Ubisoft, Rainbow Six Vegas and Assassin's Creed. And from Bethesda, Elder Scrolls.
Yeah.
From Tecmo, Ninja Gaiden. So
Ninja
Alex,
Gaiden.
this is,
Ninja
some
Gaiden.
incredible stuff, and you helped me out a lot.
I've never heard anyone like actually emphasize Ninja Gaiden that way.
Dude, we need to watch a certain movie called The Wizard one of these days.
Oh. What's that one about?
It's about this.
I mean, it's amazing to have this opportunity. And
Let me think. I'm gonna explain The Wizard real quick. Okay, so it's actually probably one of the greatest, in my opinion, video game based movies of all time.
Okay.
It's about this. So, fuck, who does it have? Megan, who's the older like Savage brother? Is it Fred Savage?
I have no idea. I
Okay.
only know about Randy Savage. Yeah.
Because you have Ben Savage too. Like not Randy Savage, Megan. He's a wrestler. I'm talking.
I know. I'm just saying he's the only Savage I know.
Okay. But anyway, it's one of the Savage brothers, I think. Starred in this movie about this kid who I think is implied to be autistic or something, right?
Okay.
And they're like really into video games, and I don't remember why somehow they get separated from their parents and like they decide to go to California for a gaming tournament. And it shows off like real video games like Ninja Gaiden, and one of the main characters, because I don't know, they're at like a restaurant or something, and one of the main characters, she's listing off like the games that or they're hearing about what games are gonna be at the tournament or something, and she's like, oh, he loves Ninja Gaiden. It's like, all right. It's one of those movies that I don't know if you could say it's good, but it's, you know, it's fun, right? It's a fun movie. And that's also where the saying for the Power Glove came in, because like the Power Glove is actually like a thing in the movie, right? You remember the Power Glove, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's where the line of "I love the Power Glove, it's so bad" comes in, right?
Okay.
It's a movie. We need to watch it sometime.
Yeah, if you'd like.
Yeah, I don't know. And it's really hype. I don't know, maybe we can watch it with the guys as well at some point. I think it'd be neat.
Whether you want to just recreate your favorite
yeah,
course,
she can convince
you're
them.
a hardcore gamer, want to create a whole story of levels, you can do that in this game. So I think it appeals to a wide range of people.
And, you know, nothing but positive press, but you've got to be so proud. Is there any one thing that is really most gratifying about the experience so far?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's been a huge reaction, support for the team, and what I find amazing is that this concept of creative gaming, which could be so complicated, right? People have just really got it. Like, we were blown away by how much people understood the concept, and I just look forward to seeing what people will make with it. So it's over to you guys. Come this October, please make some great levels. I can't wait to play them.
Well, I can absolutely guarantee that I'd love to let Sackboy finish the presentation. I think most of the audience would as well, but I should probably let you get back to finish the game up.
Cheers.
Thanks again, Alex.
Cheers.
Take care.
And before they just like made the whole presentation like in Little Big Planet. For fun.
That'd be really cool, actually.
Personally, this is one of my favorite games.
I love the idea,
Absolutely
the way he
unlimited
phrased that. It's like,
potential.
oh, I better let you get back to
can expect see
finishing
us
the
really
game.
get
Like, he's
behind
just gonna go back to work right now.
releases.
Yeah, they got, you know, their office in
Regular
back
PS3 user
temporarily,
base beyond
mobile
males
office.
and core gamers.
I wouldn't be surprised if some devs do that, or they do like some stuff on their laptops while they're at conferences like this.
I could see some doing that, yeah.
Products, I'd like to turn my attention now to one of our
like, obviously, it depends on what kind of work you have, but I'm sure there's at least some work you could do.
PlayStation 2.
Yo, PS2.
Oh, PS2 Slim?
Oh, looks like it.
I thought that would have been out by now, but I guess it came out pretty late, huh?
I suppose.
In many ways, the success of PS2 has allowed us to be more aggressive with our
Not too sure, actually. Let me see.
It's been an important incubator for the next generation adoption. And today, we're seeing much more up-conversion of PS2 owners embracing PS3. This has always been a platform for the biggest games and the most popular titles. And in 2008,
the Slim was released in 2004.
130 titles to PlayStation 2.
Oh, okay.
We continue to have incredible support from our developers and publishers.
That's a lot of titles coming that late in the PS2 lifespan.
That is.
See, I see them do this with like the big sound, and I just waiting for the THQ sound effect. Or THX, sorry.
That's true, it'd be THX. I've seen some EA Sports.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if EA had their sports games at both. The Force Unleashed. Oh, yeah.
I mean, possibly, but I don't know. I'm just still surprised we didn't see any at Microsoft.
Yeah, me too.
Warriors 2 Orochi. Or Warriors Orochi 2, I guess. It's a bit of a weird placement of the title and the 2.
It's a year later and they got another volume of SingStar.
Yeah, and we're seeing Yakuza 2 as well.
Oh, I really need to play Yakuza, man.
Oh,
Mercenaries 2. That's an interesting game.
I never played Mercenaries 2.
Very good. I played a decent amount of it, actually. We had it. It's basically like a cheap Grand Theft Auto clone, but it feels really clunky in some parts.
Yeah, like I love the Mercenaries, right? I actually love that as like a game. I never played 2 because I heard it wasn't that good.
Yeah, it's kind of mediocre, to be honest.
That's especially true when it comes
You should play Mercenaries 1. It's really good.
The PS2 at $129 is a great entry.
You'd probably wonder how they made it into 2 and how it'd be like apparently as bad as it is.
SingStar, Rock Band, and Guitar Hero are perfect for parties and ideal for play with family and friends. We helped lead the rush to social gaming 5 years ago when we introduced the world to iToy and SingStar. And more recently, introduced the third franchise for PS2, the game that makes you feel like you're right in the middle of a quiz show, Buzz.
I have a
Buzz. I forgot about Buzz.
I heard about Buzz.
PS2 to PSP.
Yeah.
6 rounds exclusively designed
I never owned any of the games, but I do remember playing the demo on PSP a bit. It was like a really big thing they were pushing for at least a few years here.
And it'll be available on PS3 this September. Buzz PS3 will also have special themed packs available via PlayStation Network this year. And then, of course, there's SingStar. Since launching the first SingStar title in 2006, we've seen more than 15 million global sales for this franchise. And at least that many performances that leaves a little bit to be desired. But they're all in great fun. Since launching the PS3 earlier this year, we've downloaded more than 1.9 million songs to consumers worldwide via the SingStore. 9 years into this life cycle, we continue to drive the PS2 platform with unique consumer offerings and incredible gaming value. The PS2 is the perfect entry-level gaming system for any family. And to help them get started, I'm pleased to announce a new bundle available this fall.
Ooh.
We'll be introducing a limited edition
Buzz
Lego
bundle.
Batman PS2 bundle aimed at these young fans.
That's interesting.
The PS2 will not
That's
only come
cool.
with Lego Batman the video game, but also with the animated film Justice League New Frontiers.
I didn't realize the
on
Lego
DVD.
Batman
It'll be
video game
available this
was
fall
old
for
enough to be on PS2, though.
Yeah,
With
that
great
is a
games
bit of a
and great value
surprise.
like this, there's reason to believe
For
that
some
the
reason, I thought it
PS2
came
will
out
keep
later,
going
but I guess there
strong.
was a lot of Lego Batman
When we
games.
started PlayStation or the original PlayStation in 1995, there was a real fear that individual experiences enabled by technology would lead to great isolation. And what we've learned since is that digital technology is less about isolating from a real world and more about connecting to it. That's especially true as we live more and more of our lives on the internet. And for many next-generation consumers, being connected is all they've ever known. And that's why we've created our next topic of discussion, PlayStation Network.
PSN.
This is a generation whose digital identity is as important to them as their driver's license and social security number, which is why, starting this fall, all PlayStation users will have a single sign-on, so no matter where they sign in, all their PlayStation information will go with them.
Whoa.
Sign on to your PC at work.
All my information is also going to go to hackers and stuff too. A Sony.
Since you can join PlayStation,
Yeah.
I know all about those data breaches that you get surprisingly often.
Make it much easier for users
Yeah,
to migrate
they've had quite a lot.
from PS2 to PS3. We
You know,
told
I
the
wonder if we'll
PlayStation
get there, if
community
they
loud and
will
clear.
address the hack they had in
They want us to
2011.
work to make PlayStation Network the best online gaming experience.
I feel like it would be an elephant in the room,
And
you
we
know.
share their goal wholeheartedly.
I mean, possibly,
Now, for
because I
those
don't remember
hungry for a
exactly
more
when
powerful
that
digital
happened,
distribution
like in terms
experience,
of like what
we're
month of the
working to
year.
make the PlayStation
But I do remember it
Network
being a
your
really big
destination.
deal because like they leaked a bunch
Together
of
with
credit
the
card
PS3
information
and
and stuff, and then they
PSP,
eventually ended up
PlayStation
giving
Network
you a
enables
choice
us
of
to
free
provide
games as like an apology.
movies,
Yeah.
TV, to photos, community.
Yeah, that was a
online
very big
social
deal at the time.
interaction.
And they've had
Together,
more
they
since
form the
then too,
very
haven't they?
core
Like maybe not
of
as
what
big, but
next-generation consumers are all about.
Yeah, they've had quite a few, especially the last few years.
While the PlayStation Store has recently received a facelift,
Like that's
from
part of
our
the reason
overall
why with
commitment
everything that happened with
remains
Helldivers and like
groundbreaking
them
content
trying to
available
get
to
you
the
to
masses,
make a
all
PSN
through
account to
an
play on
easy-to-use
PC.
and easy
That
to
people were
navigate
upset
new
about because of
interface.
how many hacks
This is
and
one of the strengths
everything
of our
Sony's had.
platform. When you
Yeah.
bring home a PS3, you get tons of additional content, connectivity, and community interaction with no hidden fees. Most of you have definitely noticed, in just last month, we had more than 20 million pieces of content downloaded, bringing the total since our November 2006 launch of PlayStation Network up to 180 million downloads. It took about 400 days to reach the first 5 million PlayStation Network registered accounts worldwide, but we went from 5 million to 10 million in less than half that time. With an acceleration like that, it's clear that PlayStation Network is becoming a destination for digital content. We all know that one of the most critical elements to the PlayStation Network, which we've focused on since day one, is the games. Now, what's an E3 press conference without a few surprises?
ooh, I do like
We all know
surprises.
PlayStation Network is a great way to enhance.
Are we gonna see more
franchise,
ducks?
Blu-ray releases, and deliver
God,
great
I hope.
add-on
Yeah, I don't
content.
remember what they did when like the
Discuss
PS4
great
came
way
out,
to
but I hope
deliver
we see more
amazing and
ducks.
complete gaming experience.
To tech
Yeah.
demo
One of our most popular
PS4
franchises
stuff.
is getting a little bit of both via a brand new
Yeah, I'll be
title
honest, I
on
don't quite
PlayStation
remember
Network later
the
this summer.
PS4 conference that
I'd
well.
like to introduce you all to Ratchet & Clank Future: Quest for Booty.
There you go. First time I think we've seen Ratchet and no, not first time, but it's not. You know, it's weird how little we've actually seen Ratchet and Clank at
It's a shorter
E3.
game at a lower price.
Yeah.
And yet it has all the high intensity of one of our AAA titles.
Yeah, what does this guy have? Like, what do they have in the studio? Let's see. I see a little Clank up here.
Yeah, Secret Agent Clank.
I don't know what this is.
I'm not
It's
sure.
definitely something. I don't know what this is either.
That might be Ratchet's ship or one of his ships.
Maybe. I assume the pirate flag and the skull are probably Drake, Nathan Drake stuff.
Well, it's probably just a reference to the fact that it's Quest for Booty. There's a lot
maybe.
of pirate themed stuff, right?
Okay, that makes sense. It's kind of cute actually.
Yeah.
And the good old CRT TVs. Still,
Yeah.
still a common
Yet it
sight.
has all the high intensity of one
Yeah.
of our AAA titles.
It's okay,
You know what?
soon.
There's also a rat.
And yet it has
Right down
all
here.
the high intensity of
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Ratty.
one of our AAA
Huh.
titles. We paced it much like a big summer blockbuster film. It's got action, suspense.
So was
mystery,
this one
and the
good?
humor you'd expect to find in a Ratchet and Clank
I'd say it's okay.
Guys,
Like, I don't think it's necessarily bad. It's just really short, and I know
game.
that's
Quest
the
for
point
Booty
of
is
it, but like,
continuation
it's
of
a
the
2 to
Ratchet
3
and
hour
Clank
game.
Future
Huh?
saga. It
And like,
begins
it's not
where Tools of
necessarily
Destruction
bad,
left
but I
off,
wasn't like
the
into
search
the
for
story as
Clank
much,
was
and they introduced
mysteriously
some new
abducted by
mechanics
the
that they
Sony.
just never really went
We
back
focused
to,
more on
too.
platforming, exploration, and we're also requiring players to think a little bit more. Ratchet's
Both
got
think?
this new ability with his wrench that he
Yeah,
carries.
like that.
His
Like the
head
whole
pops
Omni
off,
wrench thing, you'd
and
be able to
there's
drag
energy
stuff
tether
around.
that
Like,
he
I don't
can
think
use
they
to
ever used that
manipulate
again.
distant objects,
Interesting.
And generally manipulate the world. Ratchet can also pick things up with his wrench.
Maybe they realized they didn't like it
Pick up these heliogrubs,
as a mechanic.
these creatures that light up
I mean,
when they're
maybe.
scared, and then you can use those heliogrubs to travel through Moro caverns. where we
I
have
hated
light
the
and
levels
dark
with the grubs,
gameplay.
man.
Oh yeah, were they bad?
Will appeal to people who
Well,
are
the grubs
fans of
themselves
tools
weren't bad, but they were caves
want
where generally
answers
they had
about
like
Frank's
really small
mysterious
platforms. They were hard to get
disappearance. And
through,
it's
and if you
also
had
going
like
to appeal
enemies
to
shooting
people
you
who
and
never
stuff,
played
you
Ratchet
couldn't
and
attack
Clank,
without
which is a
dropping
great
the grub.
introduction
And
to
like
what
if you
Ratchet
let
and
go
Clank
of the
is all
grub for
about.
too long, it would disappear. So you're just like stuck there in the dark.
That does sound kind of lame.
Yeah. Like, I think it's a pretty alright game for what they were trying to do. It just would have been nice if it was like an actual full game.
Thank you. Ratchet & Clank Quest for Booty is another great exclusive game available only on PS3 this summer for $14.99. And what an exciting way.
That's a very cheap price, though.
That we have a lot more
It is,
creative
yeah.
content and artistic
Like, that's
titles,
why I can't hate on
like
it too
this
much,
one
because it
planned.
was meant to be like a
At
cheap
PlayStation
downloadable
Network,
title.
we've always
Although I am a
stressed
little
that you
salty that
don't
the
have to
EU
choose
got like a
between
physical
quality
copy of it and we
quantity.
never did.
You can have both. We're not interested in
So you don't
filling
have
up
a copy
our
of that
store with
one?
titles that nobody wants to
I do
play,
not,
just so
because
we
there's
can
no
say we have
physical
the
NA
most
copy.
games. I'd
So
like
do you
to
think we
show
got to
you
find
little
a
bit more
physical
about what I
EU
mean.
copy?
I mean, maybe. I don't know if it's actually region locked on the PS3 or not, though.
I mean,
I think it might be.
I mean, you can unlock your PS3.
I mean, yeah.
Just
Like,
think
one
it's
day
only
maybe
one
I'll
place.
get it.
Oh, that's creepy.
Huh.
Hold on. What game is that? Have I seen this one? I feel like
I
I've
don't
seen
know,
this
is that
game.
like Siren or something?
No, I don't believe it's Siren, but I think it. Well, it's a scary game for sure. I mean, I don't know. It could be a later Siren game. To be fair, I didn't realize they made sequels to Siren until, funnily enough, when I picked up my copy of Siren, I was like, "Oh wait, they got more." So this could
Yeah,
be.
because I want to say there was one on the PS3. I want to say it's Siren Blood Curse or something. So it could be this. You got Flower. Was that Sony Smash Bros?
Sony Smash Bros.
No, this is something else. I've never seen that.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I think I may have seen this one. I don't remember what it's called though.
It kind of looks like the same kind of art style like that WWE like Battlegrounds game or whatever.
A bit.
Yeah.
Crash
Crash
Commando.
Commando.
Okay, this one seems weird, but interesting.
It kind of looks like a Bionic Commando ripoff.
I mean, I guess in terms of like it being 2D, Fat Princess, yeah,
Fat Princess.
a classic.
Yeah, it's a pretty interesting game. I never played a ton of it, but I heard it was fun.
You know, I guess the name like Crash Commando, I guess as well. Yeah, I guess that does sound very Bionic Commando clone.
Oh, Eden.
Pain Amusement Park.
Oh,
There
it's
you go.
Pain. Okay.
Ah. All right.
Ow.
Flower. I always been curious about that game.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, I'd probably Siren Blood Curse then.
Okay.
Such a good idea. I mean, I don't know about Blood Curse, but like Siren is a series. Good idea. It's kind of poorly executed, to be honest.
So what made it like different than other horror games? Because I don't really know a lot about the Siren stuff.
So Siren 1, what I liked about it was the idea that you could see through the eyes of your enemies.
Oh, okay.
So it was more of a game about like it was around the era of like you got to stealth around scary things, right?
Yeah.
So you would see through the eyes of your enemies, and then you would decide, okay, maybe it's safe to move now, right?
Oh, okay.
But then you have the added scariness of like, oh, well, oh my god, I know where that area is, right? So like, it's a good idea, right?
Yeah. Okay.
I think, if I remember correctly, I think part of the problem with Siren was that some of the things you did didn't make any sense. I don't know if the game had like multiple endings or not. I don't quite remember. But I remember one instance. I'm pretty sure this is in Siren. You can correct me. People watching can correct me if I'm wrong. But I think there's an instance in Siren where because I think you also played like different characters throughout the campaign or something, like throughout the game. And some things you did affected other characters. I think there's one point in the game where you need to put like a wet towel in like a freezer. Right?
Okay.
But there's for like another character later in the game, I think. Once again, I could be wrong. I could be mixing up certain things. But the problem is the game never prompts you or gives you a reason why you would want to do that. Right? So if you don't do it, then I think you don't get as good of an ending or something. I don't quite remember. Or maybe you can't progress. I can't quite recall. But it's one of those things where it's like, okay, well, why would you do that, though? You know? What's the logic behind doing that? It's one of those kind of things. Where the game has a good idea, but I think it was just kind of poorly made. But I guess, you know... I don't know, I mean, did well enough to make sequels, I suppose. You know?
True.
I just remember the game being very, like... seen as okay, but not the greatest. When it came out. But I like the idea, which is why I bought a copy for a decent amount of money. Which, honestly, I probably could have gotten it cheaper. But...
probably, but that's okay.
That's okay. Sometimes you play a little... you pay a little more. Sometimes you pay a little less. Sometimes your game goes up in value. Sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
And I got games that are pretty high value that I paid very little money for, so I can't really complain if I get something for, like, say, $90 and it goes down to, like, 70, right?
Yeah. I think, like, some of the most expensive games that I have are, like, Atlas 3DS games. A lot of them have gone up quite a bit.
Yeah. I want to say some of my most expensive games might actually... Silent Hill is one of them, because I got the original Silent Hill for like very cheap. Compared to what it is now, which I think is over like $200 or something.
Yeah.
And then like the Resident Evil's on GameCube. I know the prices for those are generally pretty high, and I got those for like pawn shop price. So yeah. So I'm doing good in terms of my games going up in value. So I can't complain if like I buy something and then it loses like $20 to $40 in value, you know?
Yeah, like sometimes you get lucky. Like I even saw a Reddit post a few days ago on the game collecting Reddit where this guy picked up like 4 games from a pawn shop for like $20 and one of them was Yokai Watch 3 and I'm like, oh! I was a little jelly because I paid like $500 for that.
So Megan, this is why we need to hit pawn shops occasionally. You never know.
I know.
Licensed automotive programs from around the world. Broadcasting loads of
so Gran Turismo TV, that's a very interesting thing to just like throw on your, you know, console.
Yeah, they were being kind of experimental because I mean they did like try to push the media aspect of the PS3 and they did have certain things like this. Like I remember you could download and watch different like trailers and commercials and stuff on the PS3 too. So it doesn't surprise me they'd have something like this, especially for race car fans. I feel like a lot of them would be very interested in watching like professional races.
Watch reviews of the world's newest sports cars and behind-the-scenes footage of their development. Brought to you faster than anywhere else. Presenting a variety of standard and high-definition automotive content. Japan's popular touring car race, the Super GT. The world-class exciting drift series, D1 Grand Prix. Professional drivers test and review the hottest new cars, best motoring. Fun with tuned
video option.
And
Yo, there's Top
ABC's
Gear.
world-renowned automotive entertainment,
Yeah.
Top
I was gonna say that's like the car TV show, if I've ever heard of
All
one.
this and more starts on Gran Turismo TV, accessed through the PlayStation Network. Only on Gran Turismo 5 Prologue for the PlayStation 3.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Kazunori.
Okay, you weren't thanking me. Fair.
This content will be available starting August 1st via Gran Turismo 5 Prologue, and it's just one more example of original programming on PlayStation Network. While content is extremely important, we also know that gamers aren't in it just for the high score anymore. Next generation consumers are in it today for the community experience, to engage others, to compete, to share, to communicate, and whenever possible, brag a little bit about their gaming mastery.
Yo, I'm totally all about that brag.
Oh, they must be talking about trophies here.
Those guys who brag about the proficiency.
I could believe it.
Have the scores to back it up. With some of our newest additions, such as trophies, we're providing our users with the functionality to track, display.
Yeah, you guys just saw how big achievements were on the Xbox.
And we'll be expanding on this feature to reward PlayStation community in some very special and innovative ways. PlayStation Network is working and providing just that combination of gameplay and community that is defining the future of this industry. Now this brings us to PlayStation Home. I absolutely assure you that when PlayStation Home is publicly available through our expanded beta program, your patience will be more than rewarded. PlayStation Home is the binding factor for the PlayStation Network.
Look, guys, you can't sell PlayStation Home on really anybody. All right, I'm sorry. It's a failed experiment.
Provide the ultimate social experience for gamers. We've made incredible
But it's the ultimate social experience.
We've got some great developer and publisher support in PlayStation Home.
See, gamers are weird like that, right? Because, like, I want to say, like, you know what? Gamers really want to be, like, that social with people. But some do. You know, I just don't know if it's, like, the common thing. Right.
And we've got additional commitments from EA,
yeah, I think people who play like social sim games are, generally speaking, not the majority. Like, they might play something that has some elements like an MMO or a looter shooter and that kind of thing. But like stuff like Second Life, I think there's very few people that play stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that's basically what PlayStation Home is. It's basically just Second Life.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, like, I don't know. I never I was never one of the gamers that was like, oh, I want to go and like meet new people on a video game. I'm just like, I'm here to play video games. You know, if I meet someone cool, maybe sure, like I'll hang out for a bit, but then probably never really see him again, right? Like, yeah, I'm not like one of those gamers who's like, yo, man, yo, add me, and then you know, add each other or whatever, and then you do stuff. Like, but like, see, I say that, but I still like have like my friends like Tots and Joe who, like, I met through a video game technically, but not like in the video game, you know. That was through the forum that we then just hung out when we all made a TF2 team together.
Now I know many of you are interested to learn more about our new PlayStation Network service that will allow you to download full-length movies and TV shows through the PlayStation.
Like, even now, I talked to like Tots and Joe about like adding, like, because you know we're in this group in War Thunder that we're just into.
And I'd like to thank and acknowledge.
Honestly, kind of used for the extra squad, like the points, like the squad points. But sometimes I'll bug and go like, oh Joe, look, there's another member like in the game. You know, you should say hi. And he's like, nah, I'm too shy. No, I don't want to do that. Tots can do that. I'm not gonna do that. And I'm like, okay, Tots, you did. And Tots is like, no.
Is open for business for all studios.
Yeah, I don't like talking with random people.
On day one,
I don't know.
I'm excited to welcome major studio industry partners like Sony Pictures, Fox Film and Television, MGM Studios, Lionsgate, Warner, Disney, Paramount.
See, that's kind of the funny thing with Second Life as well, because Second Life actually seemed like a really cool thing. Like, I remember seeing stuff and going like, man, that's really impressive that you can do like that kind of stuff in Second Life. But I never wanted to play it because I didn't want to interact with people. Right?
Yeah, if you don't want to interact with people, Second Life is like the worst game you can play. You might as well play Sims if you're gonna do that.
And then I did.
Yeah. I'm kind of like you though. I might interact with people if I have something to do in the game with them. Like that's how I met a lot of my friends back when I played like MapleStory way back when. But yeah, I don't play games just to socialize with people.
Yeah, like if it happens, then ew, gross. But I'll do it. You know.
I'll do it occasionally. I don't do it as much as I used to though.
To your PS3, it can be placed on your PSP as well. You can have it at your home, you can take it with you on the road, or both. It can be put on multiple devices at the same time. I'd like to invite Eric Lempel, Director of PlayStation Network Operations, to join me on stage and quickly walk you through how the new PlayStation Network service will work. How's it going, Eric?
Hi, Jack. Thanks for having me.
Sure.
Sure.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. So, as you can see here, I'm on the cross media bar. I'm going to go to the PlayStation Store like a user normally would.
Man, I'm telling you, dude, like you look at this, right?
Yeah.
Like it's right here. It's so shit compared to what the 360 had. You know?
Yeah,
like, it's
a very basic layout.
Like that's kind of the thing, right? Like it's like the Virgin Chad meme. It's like, you know, the Chad 360, like what would you even call this? Like menu?
I think it's technically called the XMB bar or something.
Okay, but like in general, like besides what Sony would call it, or is that just like the actual term?
I think that's just the Sony thing.
Okay, well,
I don't know. I guess navigation bar.
Well, it's called the homepage. So just to simplify it, so like you have the Virgin like Sony homepage versus the Xbox Chad homepage, right? One of them looks pretty cool and has like lots of color and like, yo, here's an avatar and you'll go through all these menus. And then you have like Sony where it's like, here are just some, you know, little icons. The background might change and wave around a little bit, but you know, here's some icons. It's like, all right,
yeah, the default admittedly is kind of boring. Like some of the themes and stuff you could download were pretty cool. Like I had some that I downloaded that were pretty interesting that changed the icons and the sound effects and stuff. But by default, yeah, it was pretty simplistic.
I just want to say, someone probably tried to hack into that. I'm just saying. They have his email, or he got a lot of emails after this.
I was gonna say, why is he using his personal email? That's like a recipe for disaster.
That is definitely a recipe for disaster. Okay, you know what, Megan? I'm curious because I thought we're gonna. Well, no, it has nothing to do with that. I'm just kind of curious, like, you know, if like, so what were some good like themes that you can think of for like the PlayStation 3 like homepage thing?
Well. I don't know about the paid ones because I don't think I really bought any of them. I might have bought one or two, but like some of the free ones that I found were pretty interesting. Like I remember there was one of the default ones where it was like this air paint one where it was kind of designed where the icons looked like neon lights and stuff that I thought was kind of cool. I think there was this one I also downloaded for Layer, which is pretty interesting. And then like some of the free ones I got, like I think I got one for, I think it was a Tales of Symphonia HD collection. It came with one. I think there was like a Ratchet 10th anniversary one. Like there were some pretty interesting ones. They definitely did a better job on PS4 later on. But yeah, if you wanted something cool for your PS3, you basically had to pay for a premium theme for the most part.
Yeah, like I'll say the PS4 one I actually like. You know, yeah, I don't remember what the default theme is to be honest, but I mean I remember thinking like, oh, this is all right.
Yeah.
But like, you know, this like at this point, I don't know, it just always seems so boring to me. I don't know. Never really liked it.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. The simplicity was nice because it was very readable, but yeah, they could have done a little bit of a better job.
Also, what are the odds you think that he still uses that email?
At this point, I would say probably almost nothing. Because now that he's put this like online, I wouldn't be surprised if it got a ton of spam mail.
I mean, probably. Like, I kind of feel bad to be honest. Like, I'm not emailing the man. Obviously, I don't feel bad personally, but I can imagine. Yeah, he probably got a lot of spam after this.
Probably. Like, I think the point is they wanted to show it like, oh, he's an actual user. This is how they would log in. But yeah, they should have used a dummy email or something.
Probably.
I forgot the store used to look like this, though.
Man, it's very classic.
Cloverfield.
Yo, Cloverfield. I love Cloverfield.
PlayStation Network users that use the store today. As you can see, we have a wide variety of categories that make it easy.
Not the peak, like found footage movie. I still say that's Blair Witch Project personally, but Cloverfield still way up there.
Looking for a high definition experience. So let's browse through the movie category.
Yeah, I thought Cloverfield was okay.
So as you can see here, when you get into a category, we have a bunch of subcategories, and these are the subcategories for the movie category. I'm going to go over to studios, and here we have a bunch of the studios that Jack mentioned earlier: Disney, Fox, Lionsgate, MGM, Paramount, of course Sony Pictures, and Warner Brothers. I'm really excited to welcome our content partners to the PlayStation family. So I want to show you a few of the pages and see.
You know, I was going to make a joke and say, oh wow, they didn't even put themselves first, but I guess it's in alphabetical order.
True. That would have been funny though.
So the screen changes to give you a nice brand experience for that partner.
Dude, Reservoir Dogs, good movie. Need to watch that with you at some point.
And again, I can scroll through the content.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of movies you want to watch, and I think it'd be fun.
So,
whoa! Immediately, really. Spider-Man 3 mention. I'm just saying, you know, it's there.
That's pretty funny.
Like it's there. Like I think we've still had Spider-Man every year since the first movie came out. I'm pretty sure.
I think so.
Like, they're not directly saying, yo, here's Spider-Man, but it's right there at the top, and it's Spider-Man 3, right?
It's right there. I wouldn't be surprised if Spider-Man 2 is also in the store.
Like, so I'm going to count that as a Spider-Man mention, all right? Also, Resident Evil Extinction, don't watch it. Don't watch it.
I think that was, like, one of the few Resident Evil games I saw when my
brother made
me watch it.
Hello?
No, the movie. I meant movie.
Yeah, don't you dare say this is a game. It's bad.
It was bad. Really bad from what I recall, yeah.
I let the first movie slide. Everyone after that, not so much.
So, I'm gonna go
and even then, I had to think about it.
I can also hit the square button to change to...
Also, same thing with the Final Fantasy Spirits Within. That's another one where don't watch it. I've actually personally never seen it. All I hear is that people say... There's nothing Final Fantasy about it. Except for, like, the one deformed chocobo at the end, apparently. But I guess that's the only, like, connection. I don't even know what it looks like. I assume people say it's deformed because it's, like, early CG.
Yeah, probably.
So, you know.
To a list view, so if I do that...
You know, what other movies are here that I can notice, actually? Now I'm curious. Now I'm just curious, right? So what do we have? Is there anything I recognize? I mean, I recognize some, but I couldn't tell you the names. Like, I couldn't tell you the name of this one. This is, looks like Will Smith. I can't really tell.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Crazy Nights. I like it, Crazy Nights. I do want to, I actually have that on my list to watch Thinking eventually. Is 8 Crazy Nights. This one, I know what this one is. It's not coming to me. But I think it's like an not Eddie Murphy. That might be another Will Smith movie, actually. If it's what I'm thinking it is. Something Cops, I think. I don't quite remember. Legally Blonde. This one is Quarantine, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Which is a movie that they spoil in the trailer, might I add.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, they literally give you the ending in the trailer. It's probably the most, like, infamous example of a trailer actually spoiling the movie. And even then, if you're gonna watch Quarantine, just go and watch Rec instead. Just go and watch Rec, right? Quarantine is the Americanized version of Rec. So go and watch Rec, you know?
So...
Better movie. I never actually seen it, but I hear it's a better movie. It's been on my list to watch forever.
Yeah, I've never seen it. The only thing I remember in particular is I believe in the trailer you see one of the actors is Jennifer Carpenter. For anyone who doesn't know, and maybe has seen Dexter, it's the actress that plays Deborah.
Okay, so I don't know that.
I don't know. I just remember seeing her in the trailer. She was being dragged away by something. But yeah.
Oh, Cable Guy. That's what listening is. I've been staring at this one a little bit. Like I was still listening to you, but I was staring at this one trying to think because it looked familiar. I think it's Cable Guy, which I like. I like Cable Guy, you know, or at least I like enough. Charlie's Angels, I think 2 of them.
Yeah.
Don't know this one. Click. I actually like Click.
Click's an okay movie.
I don't know what this one is, but it looks like I should. Don't know. Yeah.
On the right side of the screen.
Don't know most of these.
I can also hit the square button to change to a list view. So if I do that, I can.
Gattaca. Oh, that's Gattaca? Okay, then.
And Ghost Rider? Oh.
Ghost Rider, and then Godzilla 1998. You know what? It's not great. Give it a watch anyway if you want. It's not a great Godzilla movie, but it's still a movie. You know.
It is a movie.
It's a movie. It's not really Godzilla, and the Japanese like Toho have very explicitly made it clear that yes, they don't like this version of Godzilla. So for those that don't know here, I'm a Godzilla nerd. I'll just say it, right? And I know this isn't video games, but I'm a Godzilla nerd. I gotta talk about this. So this movie right here is actually why Godzilla didn't get another American movie until like what 2014 or whatever.
Yeah, it was something like that.
Because they hated this movie so much that they were like, the American cinema, they don't know how to do Godzilla, so we're not gonna actually let them use Godzilla anymore.
Yeah.
Which is fair, because yeah, this isn't really a Godzilla movie. They even make a joke about it in one of the Godzilla movies. I don't remember which one. Well, they make a joke about it. Like they kind of make 2 jokes in like I think 2 different movies. Maybe it's in the same movie. Where they have like this one scene where they're talking about Godzilla, and then someone at like the conference that they're talking about, I think, says something like, "Oh yeah, wasn't that like I heard Godzilla was like in New York in '98," and then someone else is like, "No, the Americans just thought that was Godzilla, but was actually something different."
Wow.
So, you know, they make a joke like that, which I really appreciate. And then in one of the movies, I think it's like, it's either Tokyo SOS or like All Out Attack or something, I don't quite remember. They have a thing, the whole plot of it is like, aliens, because of course it's aliens, it's Godzilla, are like taking over and making all the monsters like on the planet like destroy various cities. And one of them is 98 Godzilla. He's like destroying Sydney or something. They call him Zilla in that movie because they make the joke not in the movie, but it's very much implied that they took the god out of Godzilla, so therefore it's just called Zilla, right? So the canon name for the Godzilla in Godzilla 98 is just Zilla. But like it shows Zilla like destroying Sydney briefly when Godzilla shows up. And then Zilla was like, and then he like jumps at Godzilla, and then Zilla literally just spins and like hits him with his tail, and that like gets rid of Zilla. They like to shit on Zilla, all right? They really like to shit on this movie in their own movies, which I just find really, really funny. And this is also the reason why in Godzilla 2014 you only see Godzilla, and they had to invent a new monster, the Mutos or whatever.
Yeah.
To be in that movie, because I think Toho has explicitly said, we'll let you use Godzilla, but we're not letting you use any other monsters unless you can make a good movie. And then that's why in the next few movies they had the other monsters in it. I don't know. I love how protective Toho has been with Godzilla. I'm just saying, right? See, it's cool trivia. I like the trivia.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
Order, but I'll go back to the other view and let's see, Jack. I'm gonna look for one of your favorites here. I think Walk Hard. Let's.
Silent
Hill.
Look,
there's Spider-Man.
Oh my God, you're right. There was Spider-Man.
Walk Hard.
All 3 of them.
All 3 of them. Spider-Man mention. We also have Silent Hill
and Stuart Little.
Oh yeah, Stuart Little. Is that 2? Because he has the car.
Up. Yeah.
Yeah, so Stuart Little 2 Surfs Up. World Police. I don't remember the full name. What's that one? America World Police or something? I never. What's the name of that movie? The Trey Parker and Matt Stone made it, right? I think.
Yeah, I don't remember the full name, but I do know which one you're talking about.
Yeah. Then you have Silent Hill up here, which I actually like as a movie, to be honest.
I didn't realize they had a Silent Hill movie.
It's okay. Like I like it for what it is. They had a sequel, which I actually watched only a few years ago. It's okay, right? We should watch this movie sometime. They're okay. There's Underworld, right there.
I think so.
This one I'm not too sure. Couldn't see the other ones. That's fine. Walk Hard. I remember Walk Hard.
In SD, I'll click in, and you'll see all of the metadata you'd expect to see: file size, running time, long description. And I can even preview the content by clicking.
Look, I don't get to talk about like movies that often, okay? You guys got to understand. When I see these, sometimes it's nice to go, oh, I like that movie.
Yeah.
Come up and take a look at this for a couple seconds.
Give him a minute, son. Dewey Cox needs to think about his entire...
Yeah, I'm gonna talk about the Silent Hill movie about this. I don't know what to say about for Dewey Cox. I guess the one thing with the Silent Hill movie that some people didn't really like, is because it has Pyramid Head in it,
Well, it definitely depends on your
right?
speed. It'll take
Which some people might think is a good thing. I think it's cool to an extent, but I also like to overuse Pyramid Head in Silent Hill media, which is a problem, right?
Can you talk a little about
because Pyramid Head is like the cool monster, right? That everybody knows about. So they're like, okay, we'll shoehorn Pyramid Head into this stuff, but it makes no sense if you know Silent Hill. Oh, that's a blast from the past, but it makes no sense.
Oh, Chris Angel Mind Freak.
Yeah, right. But it makes no sense to put Pyramid Head in any other Silent Hill media besides 2. It literally makes no sense if you played the game, right? Because Pyramid Head is very perfectly tailored for the main character in that game. I'm not going to say too much else. But he is tailored for it. So to put him in anything else makes no sense, right? You put him in 2, makes no... Not 2. You put him in, like, the movie, it makes no sense. You put him in... Because I think he's in... Homecoming? Yeah, Homecoming. You put him in Homecoming, it doesn't make any sense. Right? Because for those that don't know, and I think I've said this before somewhere, the monsters in every Silent Hill game are tailored specifically for the main character within that game. Because the monsters always represent something for that character. Right? That's what makes it cool. That's why you can't just take Pyramid Head and slap them into another game, because it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Unless, like, maybe you change him, but then he's not really Pyramid Head anymore. You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, Chris Angel Mind Freak. Used to watch the show a lot, I'm gonna be honest. I thought it was fun.
I remember watching some, and I remember it being really interesting, but I don't think I watched a lot of it.
See, I thought it was a fun show. We watched it, like, weekly, I think. Like, I think whenever it came out. Nowadays, though, like, I will tell you this. Like, I've not seen the show in many years, mind you. But, like, just thinking back to some of the things they did on that show, you can tell it's all very, like, cut and edited together, right? you can tell it's not exactly being authentic with the magic that... Now, I know magic is, you know, obviously, like, it's a... Like, magicians are, you know, sleight of hand, and they do, like, cool things, right? It's not real magic, you know? But, like... You can tell in Mind Freak, they, using the power of editing, that they did make things happen that you couldn't do without the power of editing, right?
Yeah, maybe sometime we should watch some.
I mean, maybe. It'd be fun to, like, go back and watch it. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
And one of my favorites is Cloverfield, so I'll click on Action Adventure.
Oh boy, here we go. Here's more I can talk about. 10,000 B. Oh yeah, it's Bad Boys 2. That was the one that I was thinking of. Bad Boys 2. 10,000 BC. Pretty meh movie, to be honest. It's a bit weird that you have cavemen and saber-toothed tigers and mammoths. And here are the Egyptians for some reason, right? It doesn't make any sense. Do 10 to Human, never seen it, heard it's good. Alien, love the Alien movies. Alien versus Predator, don't love it quite as much. It's a fun movie if you like aliens and predators, which I do. But it's PG-13, and that just kind of ruins it. Because all the other movies are like rated R, I believe. So, and it's like, yo, here's PG-13.
Yeah.
And then they try to reference some of the most famous lines in all of Predator by going, "Oh, you're one ugly motherfucker," right?
Mm.
And then they try that. They're like, "Oh, you're one ugly," and then it gets cut off, right? Because I think like I don't know, Predator like does something. But I was like, "Oh, you tried to make the reference, but you couldn't say motherfucker because it's PG-13, so you kind of ruined it, right?" Beowulf, never seen it, played the game, thought the game was okay. I don't recognize any other ones. Is that Die Hard?
Possibly.
That might be Die Hard if it is best Christmas movie. Can't tell the other ones.
No.
Crank? I don't think that's Crank. Commando 2. Right.
One of my favorites is Cloverfield, so I'll click on that.
See Cloverfield? Yeah.
You see we have it
Respect, a Cloverfield fan.
and SD, and we have it available for sell-through.
Yeah, I find it kind of funny how when I saw Cloverfield, you're like, Cloverfield. Very much like, I don't know if that's a good movie. And then you have me going like, yeah, it's a good movie. I really like it.
I remember being okay, but like I just remember getting like halfway through the movie and like really not being into it at that point. But part of that was also, I think, because of the found footage and like the fact that it's him holding a camera. The movie kind of made me feel really motion sick.
See, you get motion sickness, so I can understand that, right? More Spider-Man 2.
Hey, there it is again.
The hidden Spider-Man. It's like a hidden Mickey whenever you watch one of these. Sometimes not so hidden in the Sony conference. The hidden Spider-Man. But yeah, look.
I was trying to see the date they downloaded it because I wanted to see if it was there from before, but I think it's from 2008 too.
It looks like it's from 2008.
I was a bit like, oh, it'd be funny if they just kept all of this stuff like on the PS3 through the years.
That'd be pretty funny, actually. Yeah, that'd be really good.
My PSP to my
But yeah, I could see anybody with motion sickness not really liking Cloverfield. They do that thing where it's very shaky. But
yeah,
I'm blessed with no motion sickness like at all. I don't believe so. Yeah, I enjoy that stuff. Now, obviously, too shaky of a camera can still be awful, but
see, I'm cursed with it. I get motion sick like incredibly easily.
Dude, you were playing like Dark Souls 1 and it was doing like the elevator spun and you felt legitimately sick. You had to look down in the game, and even then I think you still felt sick.
As you can see, the PlayStation
Network
new delivery service is a huge step towards advancing the PSP.
Honestly, it didn't help how many times I had to run up and down the stairs in Anne Orlando because I was struggling with Ornstein and Smo.
Yeah.
Most versatile anchor for home entertainment. It's one of the purest expressions yet.
Yeah, Megan, I do want to do like a found footage thing with you at some point. Because I actually have a big list of found footage movies now. But thanks to the found footage subreddit.
So when you're finished digesting all of the news content
I do want to watch quite a few of them.
That's right.
I mean, yeah, if you want.
We invite you to go home, fire up your PS3, and explore and enjoy a wide variety of TV and movie content. Check back often as we'll be adding new titles each week. The video delivery service is not only important to PlayStation Network, but key to Sony's overall strategy to bring digital content, both movies and games, to the living room. Now, obviously, the PSP integration is here and give us a big competitive advantage. So let's talk a little bit more about PSP.
Okay, now I don't know one thing about the PSP generally, so I'm not going to be too sure about really any of the games that came out on it.
Yeah, I don't know if I really had like any PSP games like after this point, aside from like some digital downloads like Persona 3 Portable, so I'm not really sure what would have come out at this point.
We introduced the PSP Slim and sales shot through the roof. To me, this is one of the most elegant products we've ever made. What I like most about PSP is the multifunctionality and the fact that I can play a lot of my favorite games everywhere I go in gorgeous resolution. And 13 million other people in North America have come to the same conclusion. From a portable gaming perspective, there is no equal. Not only can you physically transfer content,
yes though, man.
PS3 wires.
Yeah.
Combine that with the other gaming and non-gaming capabilities, and that's an offering that no other handheld can begin to match. Last year, we made that experience even more attractive with our 2 entertainment packs, and they've helped propel PSP sales to significantly and contributed to the growth of our PSP install base. Earlier this year, we introduced the God of War entertainment pack, and we saw a similar spike, and we expect the same from the Madden.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the
pack
red
we
PSP.
announced for this fall.
Interesting.
I'm also pleased to announce that this fall we'll be introducing a new entertainment pack to the PSP lineup.
Ooh.
One targeted to our younger demographic. Starting in
The
October,
Lego PSP
we'll
pack.
launch our family-friendly Ratchet and Clank size.
Oh, you know what? I was gonna say like Ratchet and Clank actually. I was gonna say, look, oh, here's a Ratchet and Clank pack. I didn't think they'd actually do like a Ratchet and Clank thing. I should have did it. I should have said it.
It also comes with a 1 gig memory stick duo and a PlayStation Network voucher to the critically acclaimed Echochrome, all for $199. And we expect this.
What's the thing on the right? Like, what's this?
National Treasure 2?
That come with that? I guess that's in the bundle. I'm surprised they're not saying Yo National Treasure 2. Huh.
Yeah. Nobody cares, I guess.
I guess. Look, anything with like Nick Cage in it, dude, it's gonna be a fun time. You know?
Yeah.
Even
if it's not a good movie, it's gonna be a fun movie.
About this franchise once today, but we're here to introduce a new title to PSP. One that the talented team up at Sony Bend Studio have been working on, and I'd like to unveil it for the first time. PSP Resistance Retribution.
See, I don't know much about this Resistance game.
On July the 11th, 1951, the Americans launched an assault on the eastern coast of England. At least in Britain, the Chimera were defeated. The Chimera launched an attack that overwhelmed all of Europe in a matter of weeks. The original conversion centers were found abandoned in the process of being dismantled by Chimera drones. As we attempt to reverse engineer the complex technologies we find, the mystery of the Chimera only deepens.
Only deepens.
Only deepens.
Literally.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It looks alright, I suppose.
Yeah, it looks okay.
And how did it do now? And I'm kind of curious. I did pretty good, apparently. Generally favorable. An updated version of the game was released on February 20th, 2024 for the PS4 and PS5. It's kind of neat.
Yeah, it's cool.
Success with games for PSP, and we're only going to improve.
Has trophies and stuff too. Feature not available on the original PSP version.
It's easy to see why there's such traction in the PSP.
Yeah, I guess it must have been added with the PS Plus extra catalog.
Loco Roco 2 and Midnight Club LA Remix. We're seeing increasing momentum for the software on PSP with titles that meet the demands of the core PSP demographics. Let's take a look at some of the new PSP software highlights for this and next year.
Yo, Force Unleashed. I hear that one's really good. Like, maybe not the PSP version, but I hear a lot of good things about Force Unleashed.
Force Unleashed is from that era of games where, like, every version of the game is different on console. Like, I heard the DS version is very different, too.
Really? Huh.
Yeah. At least I'm pretty sure. But, yeah, I've heard, like, the new gen ones, like the PS3 and 360 version of the game is really good. Same with the sequel, eventually. Loco Roco!
Ooh.
I never played the sequel, but it's kind of sad that they never made any more games.
The Inside. I got some like a little subtitle for this. NBA 2009, The Inside.
I mean, you don't want to confuse it with The Outside.
Superstardust Portable.
Well, it's kind of a cool looking game.
It does look pretty neat. Almost looks like they're kind of trying to be a Geometry Wars, though, funnily enough. Looks kind of similar.
Yeah.
Not as colorful, though.
Not quite.
Patapon 2.
Patapon.
Is that what they say in Patapon?
Yeah, it's part of their little chant.
Okay, I've never played it, so I can't really say. But it sounds fun. Sounds like a fun little chant. Oh, what was the trivia? I'm in a trivia mood. I was actually talking with Megan about that a bit earlier, actually. Oh, no, I'm gonna see that. I will pause it at the right time.
You can't do it to me.
There you go. Put these horror movies in chronological order based on when they were released. I don't know. Child's Play. Is that the one with Chucky? I think it's the one with Chucky. I don't know about Candyman. Scream would be last, I think. I would say Halloween, Child's Play, Candyman, Scream? Depends when Candyman came out, of course. Yeah, now I'm curious if I got it right, actually. Halloween film. Yeah, 1978 for Halloween. So that one I did say was first. Child's Play. What was the first Child's Play? Where is it? 88. Okay, so far I'm correct. It's gonna depend on Candyman. I think I got this one wrong, actually.
Ooh.
Because I believe it says here. Oh wait, 92. I think I said Candyman. Did I say Candyman and then Scream? I think I did, right?
I'll be honest, I'm not too sure.
Because Scream came out in 96. If I said Candyman and then Scream, I actually got this right. Boom! Movie knowledge. Who had an enormous South American empire before the Spanish conquest in 1532? The Inca. Easy. I'm not just saying that because, it was selected. What knocked up director did Entertainment Weekly named the smartest person in Hollywood? I have no idea, actually. I want to get that answer. Rearranges words from the title of the movie about the alien who phoned home. That's E.T., man. E.T. the Extraterrestrial. That one's actually too easy. That one's too easy, Megan. Give me a hard one. Valkyria
Chronicles.
A game that I've wanted to play forever, but I've never gotten around to it.
Yeah, same. I played the demo of it, and it's like a really interesting game. Very unique game.
Frankly, we've always felt that PSP is one of the keys to Sony owning the living room. It's not just a nice handheld device that parents can keep their kids occupied on long car trips. Between its
it's now the iPad.
Capacity, its crystal clear sound, its ability to carry movies, photos, and music and display them on PSP's amazing screen, this is every bit the hybrid device inside and outside the living room that we've all imagined. Consumers continue to move content from their home office to their living room, and especially when they find they can use the PSP to download full-length movies, TV shows, and other video content through the PS3 or the PlayStation Store. This is the reality that we're building between the PlayStation Portable and the PlayStation Network and PlayStation 3. Once it takes hold with a content service that is rich, deep, and affordable, With titles everybody wants to watch and play, the living room is never going to be the same. And we're proud to be leading.
I like how he almost like made a slip of there. It sounded like he was going to say the living room is going to always be the same.
That would have been funny.
Part of the reason why so many developers like working with us is that we're the only player in the industry that has embraced open platforms. One partner that appreciates our approach is Google. Google's products and services are strategically placed throughout our business. If, for example, you hit a walk-off home run in tonight's All-Star game on MLB09 The Show, you can record that footage and directly bring it to from your PS3 to YouTube, which of course is owned by Google. Where it can be
okay, so that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. They're kind of getting ahead of the game when it comes to like the content side of things, I guess.
As Kasurai mentioned recently in Tokyo, we're set to deliver an entirely new experience to our users that will allow fans to see worldwide news in real time through a network-connected PS3 and TV in their living room, with live news, weather, and live webcam feeds. We call it Life with PlayStation. And it will be available by the end of the month. The SCE universe of companies has grown over the years, significantly bolstering our brand and our ability to deliver the industry's most innovative entertainment. Last April, we announced that Sony Online Entertainment had joined the SCE family. And it's with a great deal of excitement that we officially welcome Sony Online here today. As a visionary online games company, Sony Online Entertainment will help boost our ability to deliver the industry's most innovative entertainment. Today, for the first time ever, we'll preview one of Sony Online Entertainment's most anticipated games, the DC Universe Online.
Ooh, boy.
Has a remarkable
I did play that one for a little bit.
Multiplayer online space.
I don't remember caring for it. Did you ever play it?
Games of all time, EverQuest.
No, I don't believe I did.
Now, with upcoming titles such as the spy-themed MMO shooter The Agency, to the kid-friendly Free Realms, SOE's expertise is second to none. And with these titles coming to PlayStation 3, our exclusive console offering only gets better. And at this time,
he's really flubbing.
He is. I feel like he's done that. What's his name again? Jack? His name is Jack something, right?
Or Jim.
He seems like he I'm sorry for not recognizing your name, dude. Yeah, I know you've been here for years.
Executive creator and director of Sony Online.
I think it's Jack something.
Newest title,
but
DC Universe Online.
But yeah, I don't know. He does seem like he flubs a fair bit. Man, look at him go. Showing off.
Yeah, a little bit.
Shaq Palance, I'm not. My name is actually Jim Lee, and I am literally pumped to be here today to show you guys a first sneak peek and an early look at the DC Universe Online.
So I think DCU Online is a very, like, I think it was, like, kind of cool, but it wasn't really...
folk over at Sony Online Entertainment for 3 years now, building this world up from scratch.
Because I don't know, I think some of the consensus was that it was kind of trying to be City Heroes, but like without as much like customizability.
Very first time, just a little snippet of what we've achieved so far. You know, it's funny. This really is a dream project for me in many ways. It's one I feel I've been training for my entire life. When I was a kid,
and I think if you were like a villain or a hero, I think you had like a mentor that you chose, and that would determine like generally your style of fighting. Like I think you had Joker and Batman. I'm trying to think of what else you had. Superman, probably.
Batman, and I actually started my own comics
probably
called Wildstorm Productions. As far as my other obsession, I remain an avid gamer today. And by avid gamer, I mean I am seriously hooked on MMOs. I actually started playing EverQuest on its initial launch date, got to level 50.
Wonder if he plays 14.
And was the first paladin, not the second.
I would not be
third.
surprised.
I was the first paladin on my server to get the Fiery Avenger from the Plane of Sky after a grueling 20-hour camp. It sounded really cool at that. Really cool at the time, honestly.
Well, yeah, he gave us some, like, he's showing some cred here. Like, he is showing some credibility.
About, you know, that it's not an easy thing to do. So today really marks the day where I get to merge these two passions together in what is probably the coolest and most unique project to date, the DC Universe Online game. Imagine Imagine being able to create your own superhero or supervillain and enter the DC universe to fight alongside or against the world's most powerful or well-known characters. Imagine how cool it would be to help Batman take down the Joker, or to defend Metropolis against the diabolical armies of Brainiac 13 as they rain down upon the city. I mean, that's a cool image, so I'm going to actually let you think about that one for a little extra second here. Imagine being a villain and helping all the inmates at Arkham Asylum escape to attack the Batcave, or to conspire and scheme with Lex Luthor to destroy Superman.
That's right, Lex Luthor was one of them.
To explore the dark Gothic streets of Gotham City, or fly high above the dazzling Art Deco skyscrapers in Metropolis. It's certainly a project that would have made my 12-year-old brain explode with excitement. But you can stop imagining now, because we're actually going to show you, for the first time ever, just a sneak peek at what we've achieved so far. I present Universe.
Oh, they come off a little early.
A little bit, yeah.
For generations, you've witnessed the battles of the greatest heroes of our time in the pages of DC Comics. Now,
Fisherwood guy was in a hurry, I guess.
DC Universe Online. Brought to
I was like, okay, man, I'm just gonna hit that button.
Comic book artist Jim Lee. Ripped from the adventures of the comics. Straight from the artists that draw them. Experience the DC Universe as never before and harness the true power of your PlayStation 3 system or PC gaming platform. Fight against or alongside Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, the Joker, and all your favorite DC legends as you build your legacy in an epic battle against legions of superpowered enemies. Make the world your weapon.
Yeah, I wonder if they would ever try something like this today.
And become the ultimate superhero.
I mean, it's possible.
The door to the DC universe.
I think, to be fair, I think the time for it would have passed, because I think people are tired of superheroes now.
Future awaits.
But when they were big, I'm kind of surprised they didn't try an MMO.
I mean, MMOs just got to a point where they were just unsustainable for the amount of work that required. Plus, we're kind of getting to a point now where people are really burnt out on free-to-play games because they're mostly all like pay to win or they take up your life.
Yeah.
So I'd be very surprised if we got another game like that.
And one-handed push-ups. I've seen it all now.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of true. Like, MMOs are just really expensive.
For every gamer.
Yeah.
Like, when Riot announced its MMO,
last year we lowered the price of
I even think I said, the first time I heard about that, I'm like, it's either going to kill their company or they're not going to, or they're probably not going to do it.
PS3 in Grand Theft Auto
Yeah.
and Metal Gear Solid.
And part of that is because I don't really trust Riot to make, like, a good MMO, I'm going to be honest. And,
hardware. And today, I'm pleased to announce that we've decided to make the 80
yeah, they didn't end up doing it.
A primary focus.
They're like, yo, we're going dark for like maybe 10 years or something. It's like, okay, the game's dead, it's over. Rip for League MMO.
Is the current 40 gigabyte.
Yeah.
And we're giving consumers twice the storage.
I'll believe it when I
capacity
actually see
for the
footage.
same price. Consumers have been
Yeah,
gravitating.
because like MMOs are just so they're so expensive to make.
And now we're offering that same value for $300.
If you want them to be big, especially,
This is
right?
by far the best combination of memory, graphics, speed, power, and consumer value of any console in the industry today.
Like, I mean, that's why we really only have like
PS3 is perfectly suited for
like what,
high-definition downloads of
3
games, movies, and
ish
more.
big, like biggish ones.
Millions of PS2
I'd say like 2 very big ones and then a couple like smaller ones that kind of are there.
Make that transition as easy
Yeah.
as
Like Guild
possible.
Wars.
This move
Yeah, Guild Wars and like Elder Scrolls Online.
Lord of the Rings Online.
Yeah.
Every month, the gap widens a little bit more between what developers can do on other systems and what they can do on the PS3. And they're starting to harness the power of the PlayStation 3 and hone in on what separates PlayStation experiences from any other. We asked some of our publishing partners and developers to describe how the processing power, graphics, and Blu-ray capability create separation between Sony and every other console out there. And here's what they had to say.
When I think of the PlayStation 3, 2 years ago was a pretty new,
revolutionary,
but new and very foreign to us. We didn't really know a lot what was going on. Everyone was kind of learning at the same time. Now, when we look at it, we feel a lot more at home with the PlayStation 3.
From where we were a few years ago, we've come a long way, and we're just now getting to where we can really start harnessing the superpower there. So I think there's a lot more we can do.
Actually, at this point, we have all of our major game systems using at least partly the SPUs. So that means larger budgets for a designer, which then translate in more AI, more rendering, more physics, more animation.
I do need to give the Far Cry games a shot.
Experiences for the players.
For Oblivion, what we tried to do is cram as much through that main processor as possible.
The Far Cry games, from what I've heard, at least up until like 4, are pretty good.
SPUs are much more important. They just tear through everything you can give them. We put physics, AI, animation on them, and they just eat them alive.
My programmers on POP are the same as were on Assassin's Creed, and comparing their job then to now, it's just night and day. They're so much more efficient, and it's just a much, much easier process for them now.
Sony made a couple of very forward-looking decisions with the PlayStation 3. One is that we don't have to worry about disk space. We have a lot of storage capability. That's going to be very useful for Far Cry 2, especially for user-created content.
We are really excited about the potential of the PS3 because we have a lot of ideas internally, and we've just started the collaboration with Industrial Light and Magic, and we really want to push the technology further in games, and this is something that the power of the PS3 will make possible.
Really almost the sky's the limit in terms of what you can get on there and what kind of content you can put on the disc. You're really only limited by your internal resources.
And the fact that the Blu-ray disc...
Man, I didn't show any Bioshock footage.
Infinite storage capacity compared to...
Where was the Bioshock footage? You showed from every other studio. You're doing this guy twice.
One more thing that makes development on the PlayStation 3
Where's the Bioshock love?
And easy.
One of the best things about the PlayStation 3 is that every single one comes with a hard drive. It's really just a gold mine. The more you hack away at it, the more treasure.
Well, now I'm just upset for that guy.
Power, speed, memory, everything.
It's a really powerful system, and if you have really creative individuals and really great engineers working for you, you're going to be able to do great stuff.
A great thing right now about the PlayStation 3 platform is a lot of the PlayStation 2 consumers have now come over to the PlayStation 3. We're seeing the sports games that people have loved playing on the Sony platforms all along. Now they're going to be able to get that full, rich experience in sports gaming on the PlayStation 3.
I think what you're really going to see is people, when they start pushing their gameplay, their AI, their pathfinding, all those other features of the game, start doing that on the SPU rather than just devoting that to hardcore math.
There's a lot of untapped potential
Bioshock.
right now in PC.
There you go.
Yay!
It took you long enough.
Of the SPUs. So I'm really looking forward to really rich experiences and rich, realistic worlds.
I think we're just starting to really scratch the surface of what you can do with the PlayStation. That coupled with the fact that Sony is releasing new functionality and features for us to be able to take advantage of, I think is going to make it real exciting for the future.
As you can see, there's a tremendous amount of support from our publishing partners, and we're seeing increased momentum in the advances that developers are making to capitalize on PlayStation 3 and PlayStation Network. From a first-party perspective, we've had an unprecedented lineup of exclusive content. Huge franchises like MotorStorm, Infamous, SOCOM, and Resistance can't be found anywhere else. SCE Worldwide Studios provides a competitive advantage like no other, with 23 exclusive games on PS3 alone, including 10 on Blu-ray and 13 on PlayStation Network. I'd like to show you a lineup that will actualize what I've been saying here today, that 2008 is the year of PlayStation 3.
The year of the PlayStation 3, huh?
Apparently.
Listen up, Alpha. New Sun is now in position.
What are you doing there? I'm gonna take care of you.
And this is how it begins.
Nice. Little Big Planet is fun.
Yeah.
Pacific Rift, huh? Okay.
I didn't realize it came out that quickly, but
Me neither.
I guess it makes sense.
UMGS4.
Yeah.
And the one James Bond gave me, Quantum of Solace, yeah. I couldn't remember. I couldn't quite remember. SOCOM Confrontation. I think that's the one you... I was gonna say made me get, but I don't. That's you know, not quite what I want to say. I think he pointed out to me, like, oh, you should get this one, or do you have this one? Like,
yeah, I think I pointed it out to you because it was like $1 or $2 or something.
Something like that.
And I'm like, hey, you know, you want all the SOCOM games.
See, I don't know one thing about the agency.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
Ultimate Ninja Storm got huge, though.
It did.
Mirror's Edge.
Mirror's
Edge.
Huge. I love that game. It's so fun.
The agency was canceled, apparently. First-person shooter-style gunfighting with the ability to switch between third and first-person views with some driving and other vehicular segments as well. So it's kind of like, so it's an MMO. You can play casino games, huh? You join 1-2 agencies. One centered around a private army doing unsavory things, and one centered around being a good guy, I guess, fighting terrorism and such. Yeah, I mean, it seems like it would have been okay. I don't know how you'd make this into an MMO, though.
Yeah, I'm not too sure either.
Thank you. Thanks so much. I'm sure you can see why we're so excited about the rest of the year and what it's going to bring for PlayStation. It's one of the best lineups of content and exclusive titles we've ever rolled out. We've spent a good portion of today showing you some of the titles coming through the rest of this year, almost all of which will be playable in both the Showcase Pavilion.
See, you know, this is very, like, telling, too, for, the development of Covert Ops, the agency.
Yes, it's true.
Oh, yeah?
It's, like, for the time, right? The developer stated in an interview with All Games Interactive that 30 frames per second was their minimum target frame rate.
So here's a trailer to whet your appetite.
It's like, oh, 30 frames wasn't the thing. That was standard back then, I guess.
In the beginning,
no,
there was chaos.
It's Chouse.
Our victory brought order to the land. Prosperity to mankind. Now, that order is threatened. The sacred halls of Olympus have been breached. Brothers,
yo, it is he.
He will suffer.
The legend.
In the end, we will triumph. In the end, there will be only chaos.
Yo, God of War 3. I guess I was right that they did at least announce it this E3.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Of course, we're looking forward to what Kratos will bring to PS3.
I do like God of War 3. I will say that. I remember it being really fun.
Developed by Sucker Punch, the team that brought you one of the last generation's most popular franchises, Sly Cooper. Infamous brings a unique look and feel and experience.
Oh yeah, Infamous, yeah.
Every one of their products.
Yeah.
They've mastered the ability to create open, reactive, and incredibly detailed world that allows players the freedom to play the way they want to play. With Infamous, you roam an open world as a superhero, putting you in a position to save what's left of a failing society. You must make choices between being a hero or an anti-hero, and it's up to you to ultimately save or destroy the entire city.
You know,
let's take a look at Infamous.
Sad thing with Infamous, the evil powers are always the best. Let's be fair. The evil powers are always much better in Infamous. Well, in the first game. I can't say for the other ones.
It took us all by surprise.
In the first game for sure. Second game was a little more balanced. Second Son, the evil powers I think generally were just a lot stronger. A lot easier to use.
While outside the city fell apart. But inside me, something was beginning. A force I'm learning to control. But the question still remains. Why did I survive?
Still say it's a good game, though. It's
Yeah,
you know,
it's a good game.
yeah, like as we talked about before, it's a choices matter game, kind of, where it does kind of bullshit you a little bit. With some options where it's like, yo, I choose this option, and then yo, the next game, you know, new game, I want to see what the other option does, and it does the exact same thing. They just like kind of lie to you, essentially. Like I'm like, nah, this thing happens anyway. It's just now, you know, magically things switched over, and you know, now it's like this instead. It's like, oh, okay.
I've got one final title we'd like to
Yeah,
talk about.
because Infamous is one of my favorite like PS3 franchises, and I really wish they would make a new game.
Online games, but you've never seen a massive action online game like this. It's my pleasure to introduce you to a brand new title we're working on, and this is a workout even for the PS3 architecture. It's not remotely possible anywhere else.
You actually find out the agency got like canceled. It's also very on brand for like Sony showing something at E3.
The games and development community.
Yeah.
There's nothing like it on the market today.
But at least it seems like they don't have very many that got canceled.
Yeah.
Super Interactive to talk to you about it.
Not like a couple of years ago.
Oh yeah, a couple of years ago was real. Meg, oh boy. Meg, man. I have this one. It's dead now.
Good afternoon.
But it was such a cool idea. Such a cool concept for a game.
Now, a couple of years ago,
what's the concept?
Computer entertainment team,
Oh, okay.
we were given a very unique opportunity to create a new multiplayer experience for the PlayStation 3. So building on the studio's history of multiplayer success with the SOCOM series, and leveraging strong studio support from Sony, we began work on MAG. MAG is a new IP from Zipper that will immerse players in massive online battles of a scale never before seen on the
Yeah, Meg stands for Massive Action Game, by the way.
MAG will
Yeah,
battles
I did see
of up
that.
to 256 players.
Oh, that's pretty big.
With big moments,
Yeah, right?
such as large-scale air.
Like, this is actually why it was really cool and kind of why I bought the game on launch. Because it's like, yo, you can have this many players in a game. And at this point in time in gaming history, right, I'm like, oh my god. Like, that's so many, right? Because, like, you're used to maybe, like, 30 at most.
Let's see, because
like
most
24.
lobbies at this point, I think, are 32, maybe at biggest 64 players.
Yeah, so it's like, oh my god, that's so many players, right? And I think what they're going to talk about here is they had this idea where it was like players would be kind of assigned like squads, right? So it's like, you'd be in the squad with your players, but that squad would be part of a larger battalion. And at the head of it all, you'd have like a commander, right? That would like generally try to command where everybody goes. It didn't really ever work out that way. The game actually, you know, it was just your very typical like shooter, right? It didn't really have anything special to it. And of course, you know, it's not what it's like with games like this. It's never going to be as advertised where it's like, you're working with a squad. It's like, no, everybody's going to go do whatever they want, right? No one's actually going to work together, especially when you have that many players on a team. But, like, it's a neat idea. And for the time, like, nowadays, it'd be like, you know, like, 100, 256?
Yeah.
Well, that's, like, near standard, like, Battle Royale type stuff right there, you know? But, you know, back then, it was, like, a novelty to see, like, whoa, 256 players. Man, that's a lot. Wow.
Yeah.
I still say the game was, like, okay, but it definitely wasn't, like, great.
Airborne drops,
You know?
kilo insertions, and multi-front assaults. MAG will deliver a sweeping battle
Like,
experience using only
what was
real
that one
players.
game? Oh, shoot. What was that one game that, like, was on PC?
Organizing the action
That was, it was kind of similar.
Teams will be broken down into 8-player squads, each led by players who have themselves.
I don't remember. But it was basically a better version of Meg, to be honest. It was like,
it's the tactical
like
feel of
open
a small-scale,
world stuff.
squad-based shooter combined with the climactic
I don't remember the
intensity
name.
of
I'm sure it'll
massive
come up on one of these E3s.
So while 256-player battles and MAG's command
Yeah, I'm not
system
sure.
provide the visceral elements of gameplay, character growth and faction campaigns provide players with long-term goals. The character advancement tree in MAG allows players to fine-tune their soldiers to match their unique playing styles. The MAG also features ongoing faction-based
PlanetSide 2, that was it.
Provide strong incentives for players to check into the game on a daily basis.
Oh yeah, I forgot about PlanetSide.
Yeah, PlanetSide 2 was actually very similar to Meg. And I'd say a better version of Meg.
Campaigns. MAG will deliver an intense and long-lasting shooter experience unique to the PlayStation 3. So now, on behalf of Zipper Interactive, I'm very thrilled to give you this first glimpse into the MAG experience.
Like, if they ever came out with a MAG 2, I would give it a shot. Like, I don't think Zipper Interactive is alive anymore. But like, if MAG 2 were to ever come out as like a thing, I'd give it a shot, because it's a neat idea, right? Of like, yo, it's real, right? Like, it's how the real military would do it. You got your squads and platoons and battalions, right?
Yeah.
Vehicles, like, it's a cool idea. And like I said, for the time period, like 256 players, mind-blowing, right?
Yeah, that's a lot.
Like I said, you could do this fairly easily nowadays if you wanted to, I imagine. But back then it was
Probably.
like, wow, right? It was so cool. And like I said, I still enjoyed MAG for what it was. I just didn't play it a ton. If I remember correctly, I think there were like, I could be confusing with PlanetSide 2 now. I want to say maybe there's like 3 factions you could join, and I think each faction had like special weapons that you could use, I think. I could be thinking of PlanetSide 2 though, is the problem. For all I know, MAG may have been, like, I'm pretty sure there was a faction system in MAG. Because I think the whole idea is it was like 3 separate private military companies. And you're fighting like other PMCs? I think that was the idea. A name like Massive Action Game, though, is kind of silly. I'm gonna be honest.
It's pretty dumb, yeah. They could have at least been fun with it and called it like Operation MAG.
True.
Hard to imagine that all of this could have come out of a meeting in a Sony Computer Entertainment conference room 15 years ago this week. But Sony changed the rules and introduced a 10-year product life cycle to the industry. Given what we've shown you today, if this is what year 2 of the PlayStation 3 life cycle looks like, imagine years 3 and beyond. We encourage you all to come and experience these games in our press lounge and showcase pavilion.
It's funny because the PS3 didn't even make it to a 10-year cycle.
I look forward to speaking with many of you over the course of the week. Thanks again. Take care.
Okay, so I guess that's it for the conferences. So, you know, if I had to like pick a winner, I think I would lean a bit towards Sony.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I think Sony won E3 this year. They had a really good lineup of games. Their presentation was pretty interesting, like, the entire way through. And, like, they still stuck to their same formula of kind of, you know, like a demo reel followed by, like, business specs, followed by, like, developer comments and stuff. But I feel like the way they did it this time, it worked out really well. It felt really nice.
Yeah. Like, I think Microsoft still did well, but I don't know. I think Sony's conference just, like, got me a little bit more invested. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
That, and I saw quite a few more games where I'm like, oh, I remember that. Or even just, like, thinking back to when I saw this, right? Like, using my, like, my core memories of watching E3 Live.
Yeah.
Seeing Meg and hearing the potential, even, I remember just being really excited for that and thinking that was such a revolutionary step in video games. So, like, using that even as, like back in the day, you know, what would I have been, like, most impressed with? I think I would have seen that and gone, like, okay, yeah, Sony, right?
Yeah.
And just, like, you know, other stuff, too, right? Like, you know, MGS stuff, and yeah, just in general, some of the other things that we saw seem neat. You know, like Resistance 2. Even if I never played it, I still got to acknowledge that it was pretty. It looked pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know, back with like renting movies and stuff, that was like with that being a novelty back then. I mean, that's kind of cool, right? Nowadays, it's not a big deal because honestly, like it's very easy to.
Yeah, nowadays it's everywhere.
Yeah, nowadays it's everywhere. You can watch it on like Netflix or do like Disney Plus or heck, even if you want to like pirate movies. Yeah, I can't tell people that they should. But it's very easy to do that, right? Like if you want to, like if you wanted to do it, you'd probably know how to do it pretty easily, right?
Yeah.
So it's just like very, very easy to really do any of this stuff. And like Ratchet, like seeing Ratchet is cool, even if I never did play it. You know?
Yeah.
Like overall, not bad. And honestly, this presentation with Little Big Planet, I think really kind of like won me over. Because I'm kind of like, this is something Nintendo would do. And it even had like the little hiccup of just something not working. It's not, there you go. Right? Which I find just kind of really charming in its own way. So, yeah, I think Sony won this one for me, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Sony gets a W. And Nintendo, funnily enough, hitting the bottom for me this year, personally.
Yeah, I kind of have the same hierarchy as you. I think we're on a pretty similar thought pattern.
Yeah, it seems so. So, yeah, well, good job to you, Sony. Good job. You got the dub. You got the dub.
Yeah.
Now, I'm curious, did anybody else have any opinions on E3 2008? Did you think Nintendo won? Did you think maybe Microsoft did a little bit better? I'd be curious to hear your thoughts and opinions. And yeah, I guess that's it for 2008. I guess we'll be going to the Spore video now. Which should be also very interesting. So that'll be kind of like a little bonus for the year, I guess. I'll see if they have show floors. I just don't think they have show floors for 2008. If they have show floors, we'll do that first. If they don't, we'll go on to Spore, right?
Yeah.
And then we'll go on to 2009. We're actually starting to zoom through these quite a bit. Yeah, we're zooming.
We are. I do find it funny that Sony won this year because I'm kind of thinking about it. I'm like, when was the last time they won an E3? And like, I wouldn't be surprised if it's close to 10 years ago.
I mean, it's very possible. Like, I mean, I don't know. I feel like Nintendo always hits it out of the park. And like I said, I enjoy my Xbox games as well. So I always have. So there is gonna be like maybe a slight bit of bias because I'm like, oh look, it's Halo. Oh look, it's Mass Effect. Oh look, it's like Gears of War, right?
Yeah.
Not that I don't have games like that with Sony. Like, oh look, it's God of War. Oh, once again, GOW, right? The GOW games rise up. It's MGS. It's like Little Big Planet. I'm not too into, but even I can acknowledge like, hey, Little Big Planet's cool, right? So
it was a really cool game. I actually spent a lot of time playing levels and stuff online.
Yeah, so it's not like it's not like there are no games on that Sony has that don't appeal to me. It's just more, I have a lot more nostalgia, I guess, for the 360 in particular. Like see, it's fun, right? Because I have more nostalgia for like the PS1. I guess PS1 and like N64 are like kind of semi-equal. But then it's like, tons of nostalgia for PS2, Xbox. Yeah, it's all right. I like it, but PS2, whoa. And then it's like, whoa, 360. Yeah, 360. Yeah, nostalgia right there. And then it's like, I'm trying to think after that. I guess it's like, whoa, PS4, I guess, right? Obviously, I kind of have nostalgia for something like super recent. But it's really funny how I've kind of ping-ponged between like kind of having more like of an interest in certain consoles, right? Like it's like, PS2, 360, and now like, I guess like PS4. Now honestly, it's kind of like the Switch. Like the Switch is kind of my bag right now. Probably one of my most used consoles. For the past
Switch is by far my most used console. Like, even when it comes to PS4 stuff, like, I did play a decent amount of PS4, like, early in the gen, and with, like, certain games, like Crash Nitro Fueled, but, yeah, Switch is definitely my favorite console this generation so far.
Yeah, it's so good, right? Like, PS5 ain't bad. PS5 ain't bad. I I can't say anything about the Xboxes because I have not touched one since the 360, funnily enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just found it kind of funny. All right, so yeah, so we'll see if there's a show floor. If there's not, we'll do Spore. After Spore, we will go on to 2009, and I'm excited for that. I'm sure we'll get some pretty good stuff there.
2009 is going to be a really good year. I'm really looking forward to it.
Sounds like Megan has some info on what games could be coming out in 2009.
I just remember a lot of my favorite games coming out in 2009. Like, there's a lot of really good games.
All right, so there you go. So that's going to be one that Megan is especially going to be looking forward to. So we'll try to get there as fast as we can.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess that's it for us for now, though. Anything else you want to say, Megan?
No, I think I'm good. That was a pretty fun conference.
It was. All right, so in that case, thank you very much, everybody, for watching. We hope you all enjoyed. But for now, it's time we cue the outro. So Frag out, and we shall catch you guys later.
Bye.